Hello and welcome, DPL fans, or DCL actually. Used to saying DPL now, but we're in DCL. We're doing power rankings today, and let me go ahead and link the stream. I've got a cat on my lap. I got pizza next to me, so
nice.
We're living life. I got some friends here with me. There's Addison, Aster, Dougal, and TJ, and LowQP will probably be joining in a little bit. Want to say hi to everyone as I link the stream?
Hello, everyone.
Hi to everyone.
Oh my god, this
We
is
all
so
did it
epic.
time.
At the stream roll. There you go. If you want to catch these streams live, of course, link below in the description for my server. That's where I'm linking everything. But yeah, gonna have some fun with power rankings today. Right, and because of the unique way that DCL functions, we don't have a nice pretty doc. We have this.
Okay,
But
so
it's
the reason
good
for that
enough.
is probably because Autumn is busy as hell, but
It's cool. Like,
Autumn, guys.
whatever. It just doesn't look as nice. And you don't have the prices. You have to like scroll down here to see the prices. It's like a whole thing. But we're going to do some power rankings. Or like just general, hey, who's good, who's not. Where's the pizza from? Domino's. I got the handmade pan pizza. You're going to Domino's, that's what you gotta get. Endorsed from King L5. Probably make something in like 5 minutes if you want. If you want to port it into like a copy of the DPL doc, that would be awesome. But yeah, I wanted to start the stream, so yep.
I thought Domino's Pizza in the US was dog shit. That's all I've been told.
The normal pizzas are pretty hit or miss, but the pan pizza is always good, is what I found.
I got really upset at them though because they're so good in the UK, but they ran out of vegan pepperoni.
Exactly.
And I ordered like a vegan pepperoni Domino's pizza, and they called me and they're like, "We don't have any vegan pepperoni left. What do you want instead? Do you want regular pepperoni?" And I was like, "Are you stupid?"
To be fair,
And I was
some
like,
people
stupid
for a
they
second.
like it. So.
They're like, "Can you just stop?" I was like, "What are the other options?" And they're like, "I don't know." It's like I had already ordered it, so I just had to pay money for not what I wanted. Anyway, sorry. I'm angry at Domino.
Right, let me put that on the screen so you can see chat. Right. Franchise always hit and miss. Yeah, it could happen. Anyways, I think today we're going to have captains from well, a little bit less than half of the teams. We also have Dougal here, who's on Mythical Alliance, so a little bit of representation here and there. So
I think I'm the only one that wasn't a captain.
TJ is here as
Yeah,
well.
I'm here too.
Yeah,
I
Chris,
almost
you
went
went
undrafted, which would have been disastrous.
Wait, what team were you drafted to? I thought you went undrafted actually.
For the content.
Yeah, I literally went last pick of the draft.
Oh, that's after I
Make-A-Wish.
stopped paying attention, huh? So yeah, make a wish.
Literally a Make-A-Wish pick.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Alright, it looks like we got some people in here. I'm gonna go casually mention in the Smug on Draft general chat that I may or may not be streaming, because you can't advertise there, but hey. We're just having a conversation,
We've let you away
right?
with this shit. We've let you away with this shit for years. You
Here,
know,
let
it's
me,
fine.
at TJ, hey, do you have any idea where I could find a fun power rankings video? I'm dying to learn more about these teams.
Would it be funny if I just timed out L5 before he started?
You're too late.
I'm just asking him. He can answer or not.
Pizza with it?
Oh? Alright, so we're so back. God.
Also, for those that don't know, I actually did put out my VGC video a grand total of 7 hours ago. It's
Yeah.
just I've been so busy today, I forgot to plug it anywhere. So
Yeah, that's why no one's
I was the
watching
audio
it.
on it.
yeah,
Shout
no,
out
the
to
audio
DCC.
pick.
you know, I'll gladly take my title of milking DCL the second most after L5. So
Mm-hmm. We love milking
your
around these
slice.
parts.
We got the milkman on our team, you know, so we're ready
I
for
was about
that.
to say, shout out Jimmy G.
Hell yeah. So, how did this auction go? I think me and Aster are pretty happy with our team. A lot of like unexpected low price guys that we thought, hey, might have to pay big money for these guys. No, not really.
Who were some of those picks?
Like Roller K, J Ricky, Zooch, AM22. I thought we would have to pay a lot more for all of them.
Yeah, they all came pretty cheap. I think it had a lot to do with the beginning of the auction and people just like spending their money big on mainly Swish mains.
Yeah, I mean, we also did that, right? Glop is the most expensive player on our team, 20k.
Yeah, but then we slowed down and like we got everybody we really wanted.
I think,
so.
I mean, it doesn't really matter whether it was Swish mains or whatever, but the thing that I noticed during auction prep is that inevitably there's going to be a period during the sort of middle to end of the auction where people know what players they want and have very little room to upbid because it might be a player that they don't need for like tiering reasons or anything like that, right? So AM22 is probably a player that's worth more than 5k or whatever you got him for, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no one at the time was looking for Auras because they filled it everywhere else and they had limited budget to upbid because they're looking for very specific things too. And I think it's a product of the lower budget that the captains had to work with this time around.
Well, it is a
and
lower
some
budget in
players fell
sense
under
of
under the cracks.
in sense of like actual amount of credits you get or the amount of slots you get. But still, AM22 for 5k. I know I'm looking at it. Several of these teams could have used an AM22 for 5k. But
Yeah,
hey,
but did they have that 5k though? Because it's not just the 5k.
they did.
But it's also the fact that they needed to hit 11, 12 players, right? So, you know.
Yeah.
So we ended up with
It was actually a
14
super
players.
Yeah.
14.
It was actually a super conservative auction in general because I know obviously you kind of had the increase in the prices up to 18k for the self buy-ins, but I thought that would just kind of lead to maybe you'll have a few more guys that you typically say were like 6 to 8k being like 3k. But what seemed to happen is it kind of went off the top end that guys that were going for 30k last season are now like 20k or high teens, or you did see random 10k drops in people's prices, particularly in Auras players actually.
I don't think you were
It was a
ever
big
gonna
one.
see. I don't think you were ever gonna see like any 30ks like last time, right? Like I think last time only 6 players went for 20k plus.
Well, it's also like the
so
highest tier players in the player pool. Some of them had some issues with activity, right? Soggy Doggy Sage, JCM Shadow. These are players you would expect to be super expensive, but from reading their player info, they're not super motivated right now, or they're super busy with jobs or whatever. So you're not going to get their best performances, which kind of leads to, if those players are only going for 19k or whatever, then what are we doing spending 30k on someone else? You can't justify it in your mind. So the whole pool takes a little bit of a hit from that, and then obviously you get a little bit more deeper teams because of it. Everyone saves budget.
Yeah, definitely a different dynamic this time around.
I like how the most expensive player was a misclick or the mistype, but
Yeah, we can talk about that real quick.
It's 2 seasons in a row now that I've ended up on teams that have had fat-fingered captains.
Yeah.
To be fair, I discussed this. I discussed this with L5. TDG was probably not going for anything less than 19.5.
Yeah,
to be
for
real.
sure.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
like, doesn't really matter that they messed up.
So instead of bidding 11k after 10.5, someone's finger was a little bit to the right, and they bid 22.
I wonder who that was.
I wonder.
Mr. Scurf.
What's up,
Did
low
J
TP?
Scurf expect to be did J Scurf expect to be the next Skyhorse tamer? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
2 seasons in a row I've had to deal with that shit.
It was also like last season we had this issue 2 separate times where like a misinput. One of them was re-rolled in terms of like the nomination, and the other one wasn't. So you have precedent going either way. And they were like, "Oh, are we gonna redo it?" Like, yeah, let's redo it. But we moved on the auction, and because of technical limitations, they couldn't go back more than 1 nomination. Shout out to technology.
I might
Yeah.
be misremembering this, but I feel like it happened twice last auction, but only one of them was like a self-inflicted misinput. Like I think one was decided to be a technical issue, which is why they went back. But then it
Yes,
was
the
decided...
issue.
Yeah, but then when Skyhorse misinputted, that's a personal issue, right? So that's why I think the precedent kind of
Yeah, I think you might be right, Addy.
Both-
Yeah.
Both were Skyhorse. So the issue was that the first one was fat finger input in terms of like he hit the 9 instead of a 0. And then what happened with the second one was I think he was mid like cancelling it out the bid because it was for a third VGC player that he didn't need.
No. The other one was for Michael, wasn't it? It was really early in the auction, and there was something about.
Oh, then there was
like...
3. There was 3 then.
Okay.
No,
well,
the
I
Michael
didn't
one.
remember the other one, but the Michael one was
what
a
happened?
literal technical issue. I'm pretty sure.
Either way.
No, the Michael one everyone
right?
just missed it. Michael went for 3K.
Oh, that was like the
But I
first
remember
nom, right?
The timer was like wrong or something like that.
No,
Yeah.
people just
So
weren't
the Skyhorse
expecting
one
the
was
timer to be so fast. I remember it because they were like, "Wait, that's
Okay.
so fast," and no one had time to bid on it because I guess they just weren't ready.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I
Yeah, it
just
was
work
literally
here.
second nom.
Anyways, these are the teams, and yeah, we can start going over these. I think top to bottom is pretty reasonable. Loki, is your mic working? I see you trying to like toggle it or whatever. So maybe we can wait a little bit on.
Hey, nice.
Maybe
Good
we can
timing.
wait a little bit on Ancient
It is.
Tacticians. Was it working?
No, it's working. Can you
Oh,
hear
you're
me
good. You're
properly?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
You're good.
All right, so we can start from the
Okay.
top. Tell me a little bit more about this team. What was the strategy going in? Did you have to derail your strategy or what?
No, yes and no. So first, we wanted to focus on USUM and VGC first because like they're like the most lackluster tiers. Like especially VGC is hard to support. So we just wanted to get out of the way. So like why not get like the most, I don't know, in my mind, the best VGC players. So we're just gonna go all out for Hopeless. And then we wanted Max. I think Habada really wanted to team up with Max, so that was like our 2 guys that like we really wanted to get. We had prices that were much higher in our minds, and we ended up getting them for super cheap. So then we got Toxic. Like we weren't supposed to get Toxic, but we wanted them. Didn't think we were going to be able to. But everyone else was kind of like on the plan.
Is Fortunate Son Max? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it is Max.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
he
that.
went for
That's
7
So that would do it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then we liked our team, so we just went with like the double post mids guys with Blitz and Jasha. So we have like a super strong post mids. And so as long as we do fine pre mids, I think we're going to be good for a decent playoffs run. Teamed up with Fagos in the past. I liked him. Don's a nice guy. Nim's a nice guy as well. Impulse. I like the guys on the team. And then we got Mada and Helm from the Smogon Tours, SPL. I think, I don't know about Mada's record in there, but I think Helm went like 10-1, so apparently he's like a really good player. So we'll see. And obviously I'm not playing, so I'm just going to be full-time support. And I think like if we have any players that aren't familiar with Draft League but can play, well, that's like perfect with me because I can just kind of feed the builds.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Ellen was on
I
our
think the one issue
on our radar.
Oh,
Ooh,
we have a prettier version.
Do we?
Can I
I
open it
like
like
this
this?
game a lot. Like I see it ranked at like the top of like power rankings from other people. Like
I
don't think
the
there's,
only
like, a
concern I have with this team.
Go
I
ahead,
think the
TJ.
only concern I have with this team is just making sure that like the SV can get through mid-season, which like I know Josh has said that like he'll explicitly be around for the drafting or whatever, but like your starting SV pre-mids is what, like you've Hab, Helm, Faye, and Mada. Realistically, like it's just a case of making sure that that can hold up pre-mid.
Right?
It's still
Yeah,
pretty good
Toxic
seeing
can.
is like, oh true, yeah, Toxic could slot in there, and then you kind of pivot someone else into SS.
I think Toxic went undefeated in SV and DPL. I don't remember. I think it was like 3 games or something. So
Yeah, but
He's
who's
very
playing Swish in the meantime, right? Isn't he your
Yeah,
only
that's- yeah,
elite
that's
Swish
why-
player?
You also had Nim that can play at Spear Switch. Like he's a good player.
Yeah, and then Scarcity is Impulse, right?
Yeah, Impulse is good too. So he
So
could
you have
be at Spear
Your
and VGC.
Your SC is probably just what? Aba,
Elamata.
Bagos, Impulse, and Helm, maybe? Or is Helm...
Yeah, not all
Dawn,
those.
right? Like Dawn is there too.
Dawn is probably Oras for this
Dawn's
team,
your-
right?
Dawn's your Oras realistically.
Yeah.
A pre-mids for sure.
Actually,
It might be Blaze
we're
post.
probably like the weakest point of this team.
Wow, just say you hate Dawn Mist.
Well, until Blitz, right? I mean, until Blitz shows up, right? So there's option there.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I like about this team that I know from like pre-auction prep is that Toxic and Dawn were really looking to get on a team together.
Yeah, they're good friends.
So it's gonna be a really solid core between those two. Like whether they're both an SV or you know, Toxic obviously knows Oris too. Like and obviously Lokabi knows Oris. Like there's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Very active work that's going to be done on this team for both those players, and I mean, you know, Faye and Blitz and Joshua, like they're all part of that same sort of group that frequently helps each other.
No, I
Mr.
think one thing that I liked a lot, like obviously Oras might look like her weakest point, but last season Don wasn't on my team, but I was supporting him for pre-mids, and I think he went like 3-0 to start the season when I was supporting him. So I was like, if I give him the support,
can't
I think
lose.
he's gonna be. Yeah, exactly, right. Plus, we have Mada, good Smogon player, obviously unknown like in the draft community, but like has, you know, high ceiling, low floor. Like we don't really know what's gonna happen. That can play Oras as well, so we'll see. Kind of figure out like who the best, and obviously Blitz can play the tiebreaker if it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some like gambles here. If they pay off really nicely.
Yeah, and we have like obviously we have a few gambles. They're not that. We have like enough gambles that like one of them should at least work out, and like we have a decent, especially post mids. Like we're definitely gonna be fine as long as we don't throw pre mids. We're gonna be fine post mids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think just by nature,
agreed.
having both Joshua and Blitz, who are both post mid locks, your team has the most variance in terms of like in the first half of the season versus the back half of the season.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's a risk, right? In that way, it's a risk, but it rides on them sort of picking up even further post mids.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if we do good pre mids, like it's gonna be hard to stop post mids. But yeah, no, I'm not too stressed about it. The pre mids, like we have enough players. Having 11 or 12 players definitely helps. So to have the two post mids guys.
All right, I think we can move on to ZFG now. So Genius and K-Crick, I mean, obviously two fantastic captains, proven track record, all that stuff. And they usually draft pretty well. Like Genius in particular is a pretty good auction guy. Tends to have pretty strong teams. Excuse me. Is this any different? Who's to say? I mean, you have Soggy Doggy Sage. Yeah, they're both self-bought.
Yeah.
just from
My one
DCL.
my one big concern with this team is that Sage and Chip are both coming off a really like bad season in DPL.
Mhm.
Just like
Sage do that bad? I feel like
Sage did well.
He went
Well,
like
Sage did
two and
okay, but
one,
the
right?
team didn't, and by the end
Yeah.
of it, she was pretty demotivated. Like I was there for that. I was watching that. Like I wasn't around all the time, but like it was,
she had a
it was not a fun
sign-up that
experience.
was her sign up like L5 at the start of the stream was not enthusiastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where I'm like concerned for them. Well, I mean, if they bomb, then that's better for us, right? But like, I think that might be their breaking point. Everything else looks okay. Like I think they got a solid top 6 overall. Like if we're looking at Genius, Kynan, Sage, Undead, Chip, and like C or I don't know, Mayo, I guess.
Yeah,
if you
Mayo
wanna
back from
consider
the
those,
dead.
like, yeah, if you want to consider that like the top 6, I don't know, but like I think that they're solid enough.
I think that like I'll play devil's advocate with Sage. Is that like, you know, Zing and Sage have teamed before, and L5 can correct me if I'm wrong, but like that was like Sage's like breakout season, right? So if there's any setting to like motivate her again and for her to perform, you know, I would think this is the one. I think the other thing I've observed, or I guess I haven't observed but been told, is that like Zing in particular, sometimes I don't think this was true for when you teamed with ML5, like drafts a lot of like high talent, low activity type teams and tends to do quite well with them at the end of the day. So even though Sage was saying she'll be less active than before, or Undead was saying the same thing, and you know, who knows how Mayo is going to do, right? Because he's back from the dead.
Yeah.
I think these are the types of teams historically that Zing actually does really well with. Like it looks like what Band Chasers kind of looked like last season, where it's very high talent, but maybe the activity is not going to be like perfectly there, but it doesn't really matter because there's a lot of fucking talented names there.
Yeah, another thing to consider is that Sage is coming off of a captaining season, which is much different than being taken as a player in the pool. You have so much more responsibility on your shoulders, and like you're basically obliged to be active. Whereas if you're just playing as a player, you don't necessarily need to be in that support role. So like I know personally, my first season as a captain went horribly for me, right? She might not have had that experience prior. I don't know if she's captained before, but it seemed like it was a lot on her shoulders. So we might see a completely different Sage, and Sage, I mean, historically has had great seasons being drafted. So
yeah, Zing does have a track record of getting the most out of his players, just in general. So
I'm not really worried about Sage. Like as you said, like she's not captain anymore. She's gonna focus on her game, and like K-Crick and Zing, they're like amazing captains. Like they'll be able to support like, you know, their teammates. So I think this team could definitely do really well.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Clydes, by the way, who just went and made this doc for us with all the prices and the teams. Looks really nice. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. You have your SV, which is going to be what? Sage, maybe Mind Gaming, Undead. Is Undead your Sun and Moon player or your SV player?
Undead Undead doesn't want to play Usum. He says like SV and ORAS, but it's door.
Okay, so SV.
You could do like captains and Sage and Undead like at your SV spots.
I'm pretty sure that what it's going to be is, I mean, Undead isn't locked out of Usum, right? So Undead will play some Usum, but I think when Undead isn't playing Usum, it's going to be one of the captains.
Yeah, I know K-Crick. I know K-Crick is also like really prioritizing SV right now, but also is Sun and Moon. It feels like it should be such a strength for this team, but if those two are not going to play it, then it's definitely a weakness.
I'm like 90% sure that one of them is going to play.
Right, it has to be.
Right? Yeah.
You could see Mayo in like Usum though, and then like Chip and.
I was going to say Chip.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chip.
The other way
Mayo
around.
and Aura.
Do some like and Mayo, you never know. But I think also like obviously K-Crick's making an SV pivot, but on Cabal I think he played 2 Usum games. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's like burned from it.
Yeah.
It's just something his labs.
But on Chip as well, I think this is Chip. I think he'd limited availability from what I remember from his sign up. So like Oris could also become a problem if Mayo isn't up to scratch because you know he's back from the dead. And you have Chip busy, then all of a sudden you have a captain needing to cover for there.
Yeah, when is the last time Mayo played? It's gotta be a while.
Mayo's been playing in like Smogon tournaments. Like he has
just
been
in
around
a team tour.
Yeah.
You guys seen 3? Something like that? Maybe 4?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I guess he's been playing the seasonals and stuff. It's chill.
Yeah.
Right, and then Violet River as well. Yeah, Violet River is like a Gen 3 player.
But...
I think they're a SPL player from Gen 3. Right? They do well in the Emerald Open type tournaments as well.
I don't know, never heard of them.
Yeah,
does
C-
play a fair bit of everything else.
Yeah, C is also a Gen
C is
3
very-
player.
C is really cool because C slotted into Sword and Shield for Phantom Thieves in DCL 2 and like had a great performance. Like I think beat some strong players, and is a very competent player. So it's getting someone like C for 4K, who again is on the right type of environment where you just need to have a conversation with Zing or K-Crick, and you'll have a build ready to go. I think it's a good environment for C to succeed really well here.
Yeah, I know me and Aster were also looking at C towards the end of the auction as like a potential pickup. I think they could do quite well.
Yeah.
And there's like Mind Gaming, who's like a little bit of a question mark, where he played in World Cup. I don't remember exactly how well he did. I think he's from Team Germany, but I don't know. It's not guaranteed that he'll have like super success.
Is he the one that like named Pokemon monkeys like when they were playing Team Brazil, or is that somebody else? Like,
No, that was someone else.
oh, okay. Somebody told me that was him.
Yeah.
And then Idol, Akont, Ryan. I don't really know these guys, unfortunately. If you guys do, fill in the gaps.
Idol
Ryan-
is probably one of the standout VGC names. Has been one that's constantly been mentioned to me as, probably should have went in the previous 2 seasons, has done super well in various places. I think he's doing really well in Citrus at the minute, so that was kind of their VGC pick.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he went
I think
I think. And he
The Ryan guy, I think, is gonna play XP. Like he's been doing pretty well in the GBA, I think.
So Ryan is also known as RK. We were actually planning on getting him as a 3K, and it just ended up being through the situation of the auction that we weren't able to upbid when they nommed him, and we were really sad. But basically, he is a Bangladesh Smogon player who's been making sort of strides into Smogon draft and things like that. Team Bangladesh's Draft League World Cup run to like semifinals was a big part because of him. So he's definitely someone who has been having really strong performances in team tours before, has been in team tours both in terms of like Smogon and in draft, right? But he's kind of taken on that role of being kind of the head of those spaces, right? Like kind of being the leader, and in this case now, he's a min bid in the DCL, so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts. But he's a very naturally talented player. I was really sad not to get him, but I'm happy he was drafted.
Yeah, and
It's
I also
probably a very
do
similar
just...
pick to when they've done Python seasons before. Like very similar in terms of like Smogon background. I'm Bangladeshi conveniently. It was just what was in my head, but I don't know his thoughts on hypnosis as a move. But
Is that a cultural thing?
but yeah, like it's a very similar pick to that, which typically thrives in a Zing environment. So I think it makes sense.
I mean, and the thing too is like I was having some conversations with him to kind of make sure that he was someone who we wanted to get, and we were having conversations about the SV draft meta and where it's at, and he really had his finger on the pulse in terms of like just what he thought was going to be innovative right now given where the SV meta is currently at. So he's locked in. He's definitely smart, and I think he's going to be a dangerous player on that team.
And I also do just trust Genius and K-Crick scouting, right? They're picking up someone, it's because they're good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for ZFG. I don't have anything else to add. Battle Subway Surfers, anyone?
Yeah, I've nothing.
I'm surfing.
We're surfing?
Those first 4 names
Like a golden go?
and how they gel is going to make or break this team.
Super Seidel surfing.
You think so?
Let's go. Yeah.
Alright, so you have Hacker as a self-buy captain. He's captaining with Hex, who is more of a Smogonite, right? They're buddies, but yeah, he's not self-buying. So you have Hacker, you got Theo, Theodore Manny, you have iPro, Finchinator, Aberforth as like your top like expensive guys. And Harris as well, I guess, tied with Abe.
Yeah.
What do we think about this? It's very like old gen focused, right? You got
So,
your Swish,
I think,
Usum, Oras.
I think that like honestly they drafted pretty well. I mean, I think Hacker was always gonna like. Hacker is one of the two teams that had a ton of budget, right? So being able to like get iPro for as cheap as he got, and then like a slew of other players, like I don't know, like it's a weird looking team on face, right? You have like Theo with like Aberforth and iPro with Finchnader is something I never thought I would see, right? But I think it could work. Like it could blow up catastrophically, or it could work. I think it's only going to be one or the other.
Yeah,
And
a boomer Bucks team. That's what I
but it's
thought.
weird, right? I'm not against it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a funny looking team.
So question:
The
Who is
other-
their SV?
Yes, that's what I was asking myself, right?
It's probably
Like,
it's
who's
probably
starting, I
it's
mean?
probably going to be
Finch,
Finch.
Hedja,
It's Finch,
Harris,
Hacker, Harris, and Hedja probably.
Oh,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
guess
Yeah.
like Sir Kill. Like I think he plays with
there.
too.
Colin
yeah,
is
Sir Kill's
there.
been he's been doing very well this gen, so I could see him getting game time.
So it's sort of like I think that the 4 starters will be Hacker. I mean, with this way of drafting, Hacker's kind of locked himself into SV, which I'm not sure if that was
Oh,
his
yeah.
intention or not. But like he's fine in SV, right? So Hacker, Finch, Harris, and Hedja in SV. It's not the strongest like 4 SV folks, but like it's quite balanced, I would say. And then you have these other sort of min-bid options that can slot in when necessary.
Yeah,
I think the team is really interesting because I've never teamed with Theo, so I have no idea, but I've teamed with iPro before, and I know that he doesn't have the highest activity ceiling. And then I know, between Finch and Abe, you're looking at 2 sort of smoke on players who, again, I don't know about any of them specifically, but they're known for not necessarily having as much activity than a quote unquote draft league player would, right? So the question is, will there be activity on this team?
I
and
teamed
if
with.
so, where's it going to come
Finch,
from? Where's it
like,
going to come
once.
from?
Like
Yeah.
Finch won't like mock for anybody but his own game.
Yeah. So the question is, who's going to carry that activity?
It's gonna be on Hacker and Hex, I think, to do it, and then like
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else.
Yeah,
I think
Hacker
like
and
John and Eric,
Theo.
maybe. And yeah, Theo.
Theo's
mean-
not really going to do it either. Is the thing.
I've teamed a lot with Theo. He's a great teammate. I mean, nothing bad to say about him. 20.5K is a
His
lot,
mocks are
though.
very particular, though.
Yeah, it's very much like, oh wow,
Yeah.
can I beat Stall with this team not built to play Stall?
Yeah.
At least that's what it was a while ago. I know he's been branching into offense recently in SV especially, but that was every mock last, like, what, 2 years ago? Whenever we had him.
Yeah.
He's a great player. I think Theo's a
Oh, he's fantastic, yeah.
I mean, he's definitively, I think, a top 5 Swish player right now. And
Easily, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think the
Yeah,
difference
for
between
sure.
him and, frankly, even like a Toxic or a Glop is that his playstyle is just so unique, right? So if you're looking for someone with that type of playstyle, like he's literally the only.
I don't think you'd go out of your way looking for someone who plays like Theo. It's just like, you have to let him cook, you know?
Yeah, I mean
He
he's
can't
just
build a
really
draft for it.
I think his playstyle makes it harder for like teams that like mock like the slot against him because like
Oh my
you
God,
know
it was a
not too many
fucking
people
nightmare.
play like him.
The first time I played Theo was goddamn terrible. I was doing like so many hour-long mocks back to back to back. Like I thought I was just gonna lose by getting like tired.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit concerned about the depth on this team, especially in SV. But obviously the old gens are pretty strong. Maybe you could say
As is
Oras
VGC, by the way.
is interesting.
What was Ape
Yeah,
like
Log Ice
on
Null.
Armory? Was he like
He's quite
was
solid.
David, Usam, and Oras, right?
Yeah.
he's just Oris? He signed up for it. He just
Mainly
signed up
Oras,
for it.
Yeah, he's an old
And
guy.
Sadel
But,
obviously
what
had
was
some mock
what was
anyway.
Abe like? Like is he does he support or is he just kind of his own slot?
It was like he gave mocks for me as well because we were a lot of Oras duo.
Yeah.
But I was actually in SV quite a lot, and he did mock some people, but not everyone every week. Usually just his own stuff.
Can he like build on his own, or he needs the support?
He can build on his own, but it's sometimes you have to tell him to try again, you know?
Yeah, there were a couple of times where like I built or L5 built specific sets or like a full team for him, and he would try it out and he really liked it and he'd keep it. He was capable of building on his own. I think where Abe might struggle a little bit is following like set game plans. That was something that we struggled with a little bit with him. Although he had a fantastic record, when he did follow game plan, he like followed it to the T, and he always came out on top. But I'm curious to see how he's going to do with a captain like Hacker. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it feels a little bit different this time around. But yeah, I'll be rooting for him, of course, except for against my team.
Well, like you said, like, the difference this time is that there's one aura slot, right? So you know, if his support is limited to auras, then it's mostly just going to be him focusing on his own game, which might be good for him succeeding, or it might not be. But yeah, I don't know.
And we will get to that with later teams in terms of like that one aura slot is going to make a massive difference, where some teams kind of have a lot of it. Make a wish. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like some of these 3K pickups? These lower guys like Cirkill, Lejon made his way onto a team. I don't know who Colin is. I've seen the name stories before, but I'm not entirely sure where from. I think is he a Smogon guy?
I think they're both Smogon, but
SPL maybe. That sounds right. I think. Yeah.
And then Cirkill is my guy. Like,
of course,
he was very much a dilemma of like, do I sign up? Am I going to get picked up? And I always knew in the back of my mind, like, Hacker will pick this guy up. So I'm delighted for him. Like, he's.
I know a lot of
really
people
popular.
like him, you know. So.
Yeah. And then Lejon's Lejon, which I don't know how much he plays on this team, seeing as, you know, you have Hacker and Sidle for Usum.
There's no Aegislash, so.
I think Lejon would only get like playing time if like things went like bad for their team, like Aver for Sidel don't work out and they're kind of like forced to play him. So
yeah,
I feel like,
Abe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deoxys attack marks, baby.
Okay, so
yeah,
this whole team maybe a little bit less overall impressive than ZFG, I think. Is that fair to say?
Agree.
I think so.
I think in terms of like raw talent, yeah. But I think both teams will struggle with activity. It's a question of how it can be compensated, right?
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe they're just buying the dip on iPro, where he had like a pretty mid-season in DPL. So and he's like, I don't know how busy I'll be, but maybe he'll just pop off as he usually does. So who knows?
Yeah.
I know last DPL season he was very busy with like university exams and stuff, right? It was like exam time.
Yeah.
Maybe different.
Yeah.
Like in DPL he waited a lot before signing up, and in DCL he signed up very fast. So I assume he's gonna have a little more time to look at his game.
He is graduated at this point, so
yeah. So that's cool. Because I feel like every time I've like ever talked to him, he's been like, I have exams, like at every waking moment of every waking like week.
It could happen.
Or he's working, and that man works in an Irish pub, and I do not. I am not jealous.
Yeah.
They are nightmares.
He worked at an Irish pub.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he works in a rural pub. That's why his hours are like diluted. That's why he plays at like 3 a.m. constantly.
Mm.
All right.
I could be wrong, but I think I'm right.
It sounds totally reasonable. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Yarn Yoshis. Terrible name, by the way. I don't know why we came up with Yarn Yoshis, but here we are.
Not even Pokemon
like
related.
Yoshi?
Right?
This guy doesn't like Yoshi.
Me. It's a Pokemon tournament.
He doesn't like
Someone
Yoshi.
clearly never played Woolly World.
Yeah. Well, either way, we have Luxance and Gorex as the self-bought captains. maybe a little bit of a hot take to self-buy as Lux. I mean, I've known him for a while. He's a great guy, but what is it? 18k to self-buy? 17 and a half? Something like that?
Yeah.
But it's
18, yeah.
quite steep. Like, if you're comparing Lux to Lax, who also went for 18k, more expensive than Toxic, who went for 17k. iPro went for 17k. It's a little bit of a hot take, I think.
That's a stretch, yeah.
Yeah. But I get
I
it.
think
If
this
it's
is just
on your
being,
own
like,
team,
they use the extra budget.
when it's on your own team and you want to play, you just pay the price. It is what it is.
Yeah, at this point, it's not a competitive move. It's just like, I want to play.
Yeah. Which I get.
It was also because of the fact that Gorix wasn't going to play initially and then changed his mind.
Oh.
Like, I'd say if Gorix was in more frame 1, would we have maybe seen a difference? I don't know. But I'd say that also played a part in it.
Could they have taken it back, or was that not an option?
I don't think...
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm sure they could have, right? Before the auction started.
Anytime before the auction, I think you'd be safe.
Yeah, it would be silly if they didn't allow that.
Yeah.
But either way. So we have Agent Flame as the most expensive player, which I kind of saw coming. Because Agent Flame coming off a fantastic DPL debut, like 7-0, coming in as a mid-season pickup. I mean, that's going to boost anyone's price. Like back-to-back tiebreak clinchers, like very clutch play, and pretty clean game plans, honestly. One of my favorite replays is that finals tiebreak game from Agent Flame. Thought it was very well done. But 14k, most expensive player, it's a lot of pressure on someone who didn't have any going into last season. So it'll be interesting to see how she deals with that.
That was something that I had to deal with when I was in like DCL 1. Is like I was like a relatively unknown.
Yeah, you were the Wi-Fi Andy.
And then I was 20k for some reason in DCL 2, and like honestly, that pressure kind of fueled me. Not to like but like I think it can affect people different ways. I hope it fuels Agent Flame because I think it would be cool to see her pop off again.
Yeah.
I look at this team. I look at this team as a bunch of players that could pop off. Like from top to bottom, it's all players that may have a middling season or may have an incredible season. So this is like the most wild card team to me.
Yeah. But it's also like I feel like they overpaid on quite a few of these guys.
Like who do you think they overpaid on?
Well, I think honestly Flame for 14k is a little bit unproven for me. I wouldn't pay 14. Obviously I didn't. Like that's how the auction works. But yeah, Rob Jr. also a little bit high in my opinion.
It was an interesting second nom. I was like, it was not, the auction was not going how I thought it would in terms of like orders of noms. It felt like people were going for like not the top players, but like the second top players. It was interesting.
These look like the kinds of prices you would see in like a DPL auction, where the prices are all a little bit higher because the budget's higher and there's less slots. Like this looks more along those lines rather than a DCL kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone's a little bit expensive.
I think one thing of note with this team is slotting. I think slotting is going to be really interesting because you have Lux and Gorex for SV, I presume. Then you have Lane, Mazcow, Palkia, and Gelbel, all who also want to play SV. Sorry, Gelbel. And then you have like, for the lower gens, you kind of just have one option each. In Rob Jr. for ORS, Tidal for Usam, and Paddox for SS. And while all three of them are great players, I don't think, I think every single time I've seen at least Tidal and Paddox, right, they've been paired with someone who's maybe considered a bit more top end of a, like Paddox was with Glop last season in DPL, and Tidal was with you, Aster, right? So, will they be able to carry those generations on their own, or, what's that going to look like?
There's a lot of
Who's playing ORS for this team?
Rob Jr. almost surely, right?
Rob for sure.
Does he want to though?
Paddox is gonna do Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because like I know like Rob moved
There's-
his Sword and Shield like after week 1 in DPL, so I assumed he wasn't enjoying it.
I don't think there's any other player who can play Horus on this team to like the level of other
Cookie,
like
maybe?
maybe Cookie can, I don't know, but like surely that's not correct.
Not to
right?
Rob's level, no. No.
I wonder
Surely.
if Rob's okay
There's a
with
lot
that.
of pressure on Title to perform on this team
Yeah.
because I feel like she's under serious pressure, seeing as the way that the Usum pool is.
Yeah.
It's
and,
a
like,
very strong
herself
pool.
just
Usum pool is very
Yeah,
strong, and then
compared
like
to
you
the
said,
rest.
the question is who is going to be Title's who in this pool knows Usum the best next to Title?
Cookie,
Cookie, I'd say.
probably. Yeah.
Cookie Rob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Rob
then
gonna
that's-
be that active? Though,
But
to, like,
Rob doesn't
support her?
support.
Yeah.
Rob is not famous for his
Yep.
activity, but Cookie's a pretty great teammate, so I would expect
Yeah,
Cookie
Cookie
and
is.
Tidal to be the
Yeah.
main cooks in the kitchen for that.
I hope Title does well. I like her a lot, but like you
Mhm.
know, it's a lot of pressure on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I guess Paddox can also play Usum as well. Like I know that he is Usum competent a little bit, but then he also has to deal with Swish, right? So
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
just
He mocked me a
spread
few
thin
times
little
last
bit
week.
on Jet.
He's decent, yeah.
Maybe if they wanted to move Gorex to Swish for a week, move Paddox down to Sun. It's like
Ain't
kinda
no way.
silly.
Gorex is not a good Swish player. I love him to death. He's you know, he's alright.
got a hater in the chat.
It's not a hater, it's just he was DMing me, showing me his Swish Cup replays, and I was like, you know, you're alright.
Yeah, there is no LC in the chat. LC is only in like Clash, which is a dead team tour at this point.
I thought it was coming back like in August.
Allegedly, but until I see it, I'm
It
not gonna
might.
believe it.
Unfortunately.
All right, I guess we can move on to Infernal Armory, which me and Master. I mean, did we cook? I think we cooked.
I think you all
It
could
might be. It might be well done. Like,
Kitchen.
Might be a well done steak. Shout out to
Yeah.
Zooch.
yeah.
What I like about you all is that like so you have like top end talent, I think, in Glap and Zooch, right? And Robin's obviously very VGC competent. But I like that you've drafted this sort of slew of like min bids where I feel like on paper one of them has to pop off this season, and it's just about finding like, you know, which one or two are gonna like really have great seasons. Like I teamed with Batty, for example, in Draft League World Cup, and he had some really strong wins against play. Like I think he beat Panda in finals, and he beat
Yes, he did.
You know, some other players as well, like during the regular season, and we gave him like a really shitty SV team with like scraps, and he was able to pull it off. So, like, you know, he's a very strong player. I know that like PTK just won. What's it called?
Seasonal.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
I know that you're also high on some other players that you drafted, like Roller K. Like I don't know too much about Roller K, but you know, I think like, you know, he's very good. Jesse is very sort of like, you know, he had an undefeated season last time. So
Yep.
you have this sort of like, I think, you know, between L5, Aster, Glop, and Zooch, you have this really strong core, and then it's just about finding that fifth win, right? And like, I think you have so many players like AM22 or J Ricky who are capable of doing that, but then you also have these min bids that you can sort of slot in where need be, and I think it's really solid. I like your team.
So what I really like about our team outside of that core, and I would even include J Ricky in that core personally, I believe it's like a top 5. What I really like about everybody else is that they have variable ceilings, but all of their floors are pretty damn high. Like, you don't see these guys typically like severely underperforming, which is what I really like. Like, they're all players that like will have usually either an average season or a good season in any tournament.
Final record in DPL. I'm trying to remember.
Who?
I don't know.
Record?
Zooch.
Zooch's.
Oh, Zooch in
he
DPL.
went
He was
2
like,
and 12
yeah,
for
not
us.
great.
Oh.
Yeah.
The thing with Zooch though is I actually really enjoy working with him in terms of like hopping in VC and figuring out some prep. I think he's actually pretty smart about the game. A little bit unlucky that he went 2 and 5. That being said, he was also
he's also,
brainwashed
like,
into
really
dropping
good
Raging
scorer.
Bolt. So
That team was
Also, I think
all I
Zach
have to do,
Thunderbolt.
all I have to do is tell him not to do that, and instantly the season's saved. Like, it's so
It'll
simple.
be fine.
That
Yeah.
team was like worked before then. Like that team was like 1-3 before then, or something like that.
Ain't no
Yeah,
way.
but... one after that. And flirt.
Yeah, someone was
I
also
want to shout out
saying
your VGC depth.
Oh yeah.
Because the trio of Robin, Aragon, and Jesse is actually a really solid trio.
Yeah,
It's kind
super
of like
solid.
your VGC area to just kind of work off each other. So I did just want to mention that.
Yeah, someone was
and that's
saying
tough
in
to
my
get if you-
chat that Aragon had a big citrus season, but we also have the guy who invented citrus right here, J. Ricky. So there's some synergy there. Some might say. Some might say.
I hate you.
Yeah, what's interesting about that the VGC core is that typically you'll have to like go outside of your server for like additional help, because as we all know, a lot of us are not like very well versed in VGC.
Yeah,
that's a big issue that we have. So typically you have to like bank on your players going to get their external help. But it's nice to just have it internally and be able to swap out players like this. So I'm very happy for that.
yeah.
I
Jesse,
think that's something captains did well across the board, because I mentioned that in the VGC video that I put out and just forgot to plug anywhere because I'm an idiot. But we definitely talked in depth about like the idea of, teams are going to need to still draft 2 VGC players, because there's no point leaving a VGC player on an island. And it's just like, yeah, you go figure it out yourself, get whatever outside help you need. I think captains overall did do a good job of that, of making sure that they kind of had someone to bounce off of, or like a rotation option in case the primary option isn't quite working out. So
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is
sense.
my approach for VGC and like LC for Clash. Like any tier that I'm not super familiar with, I'll just get plenty of support for the one guy that's in that slot, where I can just trust them to go cook, and then I'll stick to the things that I'm really strong at. We have the best of both worlds there. Because let's be real, I'm not learning VGC draft. It's just not gonna happen. So,
Why not?
What if the draft is co-villain?
well, that's what SV is for.
That. Do it.
crucial information being leaked here on the L5 channel.
Yep.
There is a 0% chance that Scoville gets drafted. We'll see.
Ooh, don't challenge him.
I don't think he's
Don't
gonna do
challenge
it. I think he's
I don't know.
bluffing.
Put a sub bet
It
on
was
it
the
right
first-
now.
It was the first mon on the draft doc that I linked in our server, so I don't know. Look, anything can happen. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with our team. I think we did a nice job, and we got our top end looks pretty solid, and then everybody else is. It's just nice to have a big squad, It's 14 players, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say L5, like obviously you have Glap pretty squarely in Swish, and you have, AM22 who's probably Horus, right? Do you see yourself playing SV most of the time this season, or do you think you might sort of flex around a little bit more than you think?
So it remains to be seen, right? I'm assuming most of my game time is going to be SV and Oras, but you never really know. I'd probably expect SV, and as long as AM22 is holding down the fort, I don't see a big reason to really jump around too much, but obviously the option is there.
AM22 might be the steal of the draft.
Yeah,
Going for
5K?
5K, like,
I think he
after
is.
that
You kidding me?
DCL he had is crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these players, we either planned on having a much higher budget for, or we're like not expecting to get them at all. Like when Batty got nommed, I was like, I'm not letting this guy go for 3K, so I put in 3.5 and we just get him. Like, cool, nice. Same thing for Jesse. I was like, I can't let this guy go for 4 or 5. Get him for 5, and he's like one of the most versatile prep support guys, like
Everyone
in
was
the
just
whole
being really
pool.
conservative.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was being really conservative.
And like 3K high crocs, 3K roller K, 3K PDK. I mean, these are players that just came off of huge like tournament wins. 3K 64 squares, 3K, like all these guys, they can click buttons pretty well. Like I don't know if you're aware. I think our depth is like really, really good. I guess one of the main problems that I have with the team is it's impossible to give everyone playtime. That's kind of
was
like
just
the
gonna
worst
say,
thing about
like,
big rosters, where you can't start everyone. It's like super annoying.
I was gonna
But
say,
hey,
like,
everybody's gonna get a mock at least.
Oh yeah.
You're not running out of mockers.
you'll get mocks and stuff, but yeah, I guess the question is like, how do you right? Like, how do you test everyone? You know?
It's hard, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
part of it is going to be like how they do in mocks. If they're just smoking everyone in mocks, hey, we might start this guy, you know?
Yeah.
It all remains to be seen. I'm not exactly sure what our starting roster is going to end up looking like. But we'll find out through the course of the season, and eventually we're going to find out who's popping off, who's not, and we're going to have a really strong playoffs like roster, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I think we're definitely one of the best rosters. I know a lot of people I saw power ranking as top 3. Yeah, seems about right. You guys have anything to add on me and Aster's team? Trying to defend the chip?
Good luck.
Yeah, Aster's the
No,
goat.
I think we covered everything.
Thanks, Dark.
Also depends what kind of Hycrox you get as well, because I know sometimes you can get Hycrox that pops the fuck off, and then sometimes just Hycrox that doesn't. So,
Something that's
Yeah,
really
well,
cool as well is that Hycrox and J Ricky have some really interesting synergy as well. They're
Portuguese
both-
chemistry.
they
Yeah,
both
Portuguese
know
too,
each other
actually.
from
So this
Portugal
works out
and really-
perfectly.
They really vibe with each other. Did you all know that going into the draft, or was it kind of like?
Yeah, well, I knew Jay Ricky was Portuguese. I had no idea Hycrox was Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They work together a lot. Like they've done a ton of mocks together and things, and they know each other's vibes. So that'll be really great.
Yeah, all on purpose, right? Right, Aster?
Yeah, all planned.
Yeah. Alright, I guess we can move on to Mythical Alliance here, captained by Odin and Kyle.
Oh boy.
My team.
It is your team. So
It's your team.
they got
This was a
II.
team that was like. Remind me if I'm wrong. This was a team that was holding on to like a ton of budget through the
Yeah.
entire auction.
Yeah, they were.
This team had
Yeah.
like 50K or something, like almost when the auction was nearly over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like they got early II, but then they waited like it's so long to get all the other players. It feels like some of them like they had to pay like a little too much, like a little extra for everybody because like the pool was getting shallow and more shallow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like II is their big ticket item, and then Trace for 15.5, which is quite a lot for a VGC player, but he is like pretty proven as one of the best, if not the best VGC players
He's
in
the
DCL.
second best player in the pool, right? But he is available all weeks. Hopeless is not. So technically, I think
Yeah, that's a big thing.
that he's
The
probably
thing
the
is,
best.
though, as well, though, that's so interesting is Trace alone is the same price as Hopeless plus Impulse, and I would not have expected that going into the auction.
Yeah, we expected Hopeless to go for so much more because like his only week off is Worlds, right? He could play 6 weeks plus playoffs. It's just Worlds. Like he can only play on like Monday and Tuesday, which is like obviously not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's also moving, which makes him kind of less available as well. But yeah, I get what you mean.
He's also working
mean,
two.
Like a
Oh yeah,
true
but that was just price tanking, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure that's genuine.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll find out.
Yeah, he probably is moving for real, but I I didn't get the mention. We talk every day.
But I think, given how long they held on to budget, I still think they did pretty well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Shadow is a bit of a question mark because we don't really know how motivated he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jimmy as your Horus player, we'll see.
Okay.
Like,
So
I
hold
do
on a
think Jimmy
second.
could be very good.
I'm holding
If
on.
Jimmy's your Oras player, what happens with I and Odin?
So
I's playing
is
SV,
gonna
I
be.
think.
I is gonna play this.
He's playing SV.
Yeah, I think it's ISV.
I think he's gonna play
I,
as the.
I's a very good SV player. I don't think that's
It's
crazy.
terrorist spots
Yeah,
for
but is he
season.
19k good?
I think
Okay.
I'd play in Usum, like him and Odin, like or Usum, and I think that's like one of the strongest Usum cores. And Odin is planning
For
on
sure.
playing SV.
Oh, it's
Oh,
that
okay.
way.
So they're all
okay.
playing SV. Nobody's
Yeah.
playing Sun and Moon.
No one's playing.
Yeah.
Free win.
No,
Yay.
I is playing Usum.
Google, it's you and Sun and Moon, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is,
No,
is
I'm
they
the
can flip
Horus
that,
guy.
right? Like I can play some Usum, and Odin can
Oh.
play some Usum, and like
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, right? Like so
For sure.
you know,
Yeah, fair enough.
it's great.
Yeah.
They also got good value in
I
Hydra
just had-
Sean, I think.
Son list. He says he
And
finished on Friday.
Yeah, and then what? You have Jimmy in Horus and Hydra in Swish. and then you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hale
Google
just
is kinda like
just
back
said
and
I'm
flex
playing
slot.
awesome in L5's chat, so I don't know where we're at.
I don't know about that one.
Somebody's making something up here.
Does anyone know who like the MC and Gafika people are?
Not to be confused with
So
MV.
Pizka is our
Oh, please.
backup, our backup BGC player because Trace wanted like somebody else
Makes
to
sense.
bounce off of. So
Makes
that's
sense.
who they
Yeah.
are. And I don't know who MC is. Like I don't know much about them, but I
don't
think
know
they're
why
playing
my
at
brain
space.
went to. My brain went to a Team Brazil like Smogon player. I don't know why my brain went there, but
Sure.
I could be
Gafika
very
sounds like
wrong,
a
but that's-
slur.
Hey, don't say that I'm streaming. But yeah, this team.
I think like
is-
what the channel's
gonna
made for
have,
kids,
like-
is it?
I think our team's gonna have like really good vibes. I think we have a lot of people that could get along with each other and have worked together like before. So I'm
Right, this is all
excited.
chill dudes, man. For sure. This is the
Yeah.
most chill team, I would say.
I think this is like a team that we could see like, you know, JCM be even more active because like it's a lot of guys like he gets along, you know, really well with. Even though I know he's like locked to a few weeks. Like there should be a few like really good weeks, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm less convinced, I think, overall, compared to some of these other teams. Shout out the Infernal Armory. Not biased, by the way. But yeah, it does feel kind of middle of the pack-ish. I know, like, during the auction, we were like, what are these guys doing? It's like round 7, and you have two people. Like, you gotta get someone.
Funny thing is, it's the most trick of eye team in this auction without there being trick of eye, and there just happens to be eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, tell me I'm wrong.
No,
I
no,
can't.
you're completely right.
I can't tell you you're wrong. Just can't do it.
I think, you know, you kind of said that it's the most chill team, so maybe how about we go to potentially the most chaotic, most active, most
Oh,
Who
yeah.
even
We already
knows?
talked about the Subway Surfers.
No, I think Make-A-Wish is definitely one of the most chaotic.
Yeah.
They look like a fun server
gonna be-
too, Make-A-Wish.
It's gonna be a fun server. I will put it that way.
Hunter,
Very
TDG,
Canadian.
Panda, J-Scarf, who? Yeah, this is gonna be
Who?
a little bit of a goofy goober team. But you know what I mean? Alright, so TDG
Yeah,
gets Miss Input for 22k as the most expensive guy in the auction, but not too far off from where he would have ended up anyways.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
gonna go for 20 apparently. Lux was gonna up bid for 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
up to
same
20.
thing really.
Definitely not like the wrong guy to, you know, Mitch type for. I think like one of the best sword shield players.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, I don't know how much of this is real, but he was looking in. He signed up saying that he wanted to also play Usam and that he also wanted to play Horus. He was interested in playing other old gens too. No idea if that's actually going to happen, but it was
Well, if
something
Hunter
that
slots into
in my
Swish, then that's
conversations
gonna
with
happen.
him, he was like, actually, I prefer playing Horus right now to Sword and Shield. So that would
Oh,
also be interesting to see.
Well, that's why they got
Yeah.
Hunters the Infected, the Swish one trick. I'm not joking. But
Rain has already come up, but not in
Yeah.
Swish.
Isn't
exactly.
he playing Yusam on this? Or I guess Cup, like, I don't know, Up can, but I
He
thought
could
Hunter
try.
would probably be Yusam.
You could try.
The one thing about this team that I kind of like is that there is a lot of just rotation options in terms of you don't really know who's going to be playing where, which can go both ways, right? But it also means that,
True.
you know, if there's kind of, you are kind of lacking that consistency in certain tiers, you have rotation options. So
I
like,
feel like-
you look at Horus, where you have three Horus starters last season just on the same team. Like Usam, there's a bunch of guys who can kind of rotate in and out. SV, there's a lot of options here, and then VGC guys are also meshing really well at the minute. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the season, see how it goes. It's nice to be freed from Trick of Eye jail, and
I
You know,
take
nice
your
to actually
points
get
for that.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have some brain rot in there from Hunter and who, like, and yeah, Panda J Scurf. Definitely, yeah. You're gonna be blending in with the
it's already
young
started,
crowd,
but-
TJ.
Yeah, I'm just the old guy on the team. Like myself and Sablo are just the old dudes in the corner that they have to look after sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
they have to teach you what the new slang is. I get it.
TJ's the new geriatric in town.
Yep. But it looks like Sun and Moon might be a weak point for this team. Like, you have ID Cup, and then who else, really? I guess
Maybe
TDG,
Hunter.
you could say,
Hunter.
Right?
if he wants the slot.
TGG.
Like Ryan and
TJ,
Jado
where are
plays
you
can
playing?
play there. I can play there. I'm just cursed in Usum, but
Kaz, what did you just type in my chat? I guess I'll see ya. Like, you see that?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
It's crazy.
you don't look.
uh,
Oh my god. Yeah, all right, but
anyways.
chaos incarnate, make a wish.
Yep.
I think we'll gel well together. I think we'll make it work.
Yeah, so I've always said that Sablo tends to go for a little bit more than he should. I think this is about right. 6.5k. Like, this is a good
Yeah,
price
this
for
is-
Sablo finally.
Mhm.
I think it's slightly less than he should actually. I think
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
the
you could
8
argue that.
bracket would be.
Yeah. It's
Think
just
with
often he
Sablo-
goes for like 11, 12, and it's like, whoa.
I feel like
No,
I feel like
often he
Sablo
goes for
can be-
20. And I'm like,
Okay, that was
Really?
like 3 years ago.
no, that was
I mean,
this
more
DPL.
No, that was
Wait,
recently.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. I really didn't pay attention to this DPL. Holy crap. What were you gonna say, Addy?
Oh, I was gonna say I feel like Sablo's the type of player who can, like, obviously anyone can beat anyone, but I feel like he truly can beat anyone. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, he usually has quite middle of the road seasons. Like, I think, he's usually like a 500 player. But I've also seen him like pop off versus like some of the best Oryx talent in the pool, right? Like, I think, I've just seen him play some really, really impressive games. And like,
Yeah, no,
obviously,
he's-
like, he was very close to taking down Josh in DPL during Josh's like big undefeated season. So, like, I don't know. I feel like he's always in there. I think he was like one of AM22's only losses. Like, so he's very talented and can take on that top level talent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won a tiebreaker for us the season we won DPL with Wings in
Yeah.
finals.
Wings of
So,
Wrath.
yeah, he's-
Shout out.
Yeah, so he's definitely like you said, he can beat anyone. He truly
He
can.
has a very high ceiling. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got the content creator TJB145. Some say he might be the GOAT.
Is he gonna make content?
Or some say it might be fucking washed because he went last pick of the auction. But
Some might say he cannot figure out mic settings to save his life.
we're getting there.
Just
Slowly
some
but
say.
surely, we're getting
Some
there.
say. Not me,
Some.
but some. Yeah.
I helped
Okay.
him out.
You tried to help me
He's
figure.
doing okay now.
I did try.
You both did actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Anyways, I guess
Alright,
we could
should
go
we
to
move
the
on to the
last.
last?
Yeah, Judgment Day, which, by the way, is spelled different on this doc than it is in the actual thing. There's
Yeah, what's
no
that?
E.
Oh, it's
There's no E in Judgment.
Yeah. Clyde's what we doing.
yeah. There's no E in the move for some stupid reason. But
Yeah. Anyways, so we have
UK spelling.
so the wrong spelling. Yeah, nice justification. So we have Ryan Addison captaining this team. We have Addison in the call, so go ahead and tell us what we're doing here.
Well, we got a lot of players for a lot less than we thought we would. Lax was obviously like our top player, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm so excited to team up with him because we teamed up at ZFG in DCL 1. So, and that was with Rye and Yurdunk as well. So to some extent, we're rerunning some of that team, which is cool. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Lax. So I brought up Lax because like Lax was not in our plans, and Lax was like falling in the draft. Like, our prediction was that Lax was gonna get nommed round 1, go for like maximum budget and everything like that. So we hadn't even really like considered him as someone that we were picking up. But when we ended up losing in some of the folks that we had in our plans, we were like, oh my god, Lax is still on the board. And we ended up getting him for a lot less than we thought he'd go for, right? So was really happy about that because I feel like we have elite SV. And I think what I like about our team especially is I just think we have really, really strong SV talent. Like with SV being like literally 50% of the games, I wanted to make sure that like we had at least 5 or 6 players who were like not just like SV competent, but like has had success with SV in the past. So Lax, Yerdunk, PZZ, I think was like the winner of a seasonal or something like that, and also was very good, obviously in his own right. Agency went undefeated in DPL. Lucas has been very strong in SV. Bobbert is also a very strong SV player, and like, yeah, I found that really nice. I think some other cool aspects about our team that I really like is I like the synergy between me and PZZ, where I think in most cases PZZ makes more sense in SV and I make more sense in Swish, but we're able to switch if we ever want to. And then I think it's the same for Rai and Jake as well, where Jake actually like has one of the best USM records in DPL history. And not a lot of people know that because he usually gets stuck in Horus jail. But, you know, so he's someone who can play USM, but also Rai can play USM and he can play Horus and has been really good in Horus too. So I like that we can sort of flip between there. And then we have Barrett as well, who's USM competent. So I think we have a lot of strength in the old gens. We have a ton of strength in SV. For Swish, it's mostly just me and PCC. And then VGC, I'm excited for our VGC guys too.
Yeah, the team makes sense how it's structured, right? And your 2 3Ks, like Code and Dredaguner, right? That's like the VGC core, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me, so Aster, you posted a pic of like the dock where it had like glitched and everything past like Gen 6 was a Dredagon sprite. It was so funny. Yeah, so this team makes sense. I really like it. I think it's definitely one of the top teams.
Yes.
This is my first ever like auction where I'm like doing it really on my own because Rai was traveling and I didn't really have much agency in the DPL auction. So I was really nervous going into it, and I'm happy that not only did it go well, but I was able to adapt when the start of it really didn't go the way that we thought it would.
Yeah, well, you got your agency as like your 5th pick here.
Hey, the agency.
But yeah.
I literally can't escape this kid. I mean, like, I guess it's my own doing, but like literally the last like 4 team tours I've done has involved agency in some way.
Yeah.
He's like so good. Like you're like, oh, I can't pass on this talent for like this little, right? So
yeah, he just becomes your franchise player.
I was
that
like,
was
we
Theo
have the
for a
budget
long time
to
for
get
me.
him. I was like, we have the budget to get him, and like
Yeah.
he's good, so why not? Like, so
We actually thought we were gonna get him, but like you made like 1 second before the final round. Like,
yeah, and it was so clutch that we were able to get agency for that price because it allows us to have room for multiple 3Ks, which was good.
I think we just need someone that like's good at building for him, and you're gonna have to like find that.
I mean, I
Doesn't need
think
to
it's
build.
me. I think it's Rai. Like we're both SV competent. We have SV players who are talented SV players who just by default are gonna have to like be on the bench. So you know, there might be a week where like Yerdunk isn't playing, or Lucas isn't playing, or PZZ isn't playing, right? And it's like, you know, they can focus on helping whoever is playing, and vice versa, right? There might be a week where agency isn't playing, and he can focus on helping, you know, Yerdunk and Lucas. So I just like how we have these like 6-7 players who are very SV capable. I feel like, you know, I think we're really strong in SV. I'd go as far as say I think we have the strongest SV group, but maybe that's just me being a little
Hashtag biased.
Yeah, a little totally. There hasn't been any bias on this stream, so I just want to make sure
not
that
at
like
all.
I'm being a little humble. So
I get it.
My big question mark for you is for your team is Jake, because I haven't seen Jake play in what feels like forever.
He played in DCL
and-
season 8, and he had like a great record.
Oh,
well,
yeah?
this is the thing
Okay.
is I was researching Jake in terms of like, okay, this is someone because he signed up late. I was like, I don't know much about him. Like basically he was playing before I sort of showed up in team tours, and I was like, this guy's pretty good. So I was looking at some of his replays. Yes, please. I would love some smoothie. Thank you. Sorry.
Or good.
Anyway, yes, Jake is someone who had like really strong auras. Like he beat Zazo, he beat UL5 like in DPL 8, so he's with it. And then I saw it. He had like one of the strongest USIM records in the the DPL history board, and I was like, oh my god, like this is someone who's gonna really work for us.
Yeah, he also played in the GG Inc. tours and did quite well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like pretty reasonable into the bracket. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward. And again, like I have the full utmost faith in him, and I can already say like he's been crazy active with Rai and just looking at old gen stuff so far. But like, if we end up realizing that like his talents are better in Horus, we have Bobbert who can play Usam. We have Rai who can play Usam, right? So we have that flexibility. Like maybe I'd be more worried about Jake if like he was our only Horus or he was our only Usam. But we have other players who can do those things too, so we can sort of see what counts are best right now.
About him. Like he's been so consistent over time. Like obviously he plays less now, maybe less active than he used to be. He used to go for so much as well, and for like you don't lose your talent. It's not a game that like you need to keep your weak. Like as long as you keep the same, you can think the same way you used to be. Like you're gonna be fine. And I know he always tries hard for like his own games, like super hard at least. So you should be fine in that regard.
I'm really excited. It's a bunch of like people who I've teamed with before, but it's also like new people. Like Jake is one of those new people where I'm like, wow, like this is someone who I'm really excited to work with. And yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah. No. If I had to pick a top 3 teams, I would say definitely yours. Judgment Day, maybe Foxes and us. Is my top 3, I think. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do some actual power rankings, because that's the title of the stream, and so far we've just gone over the teams. So let me get that set up on the stream real quick. But
should we like DM you or rankings?
No, we could just.
We should.
Okay.
I think we should just do ranking like our own team.
Let's do this as like a thing on top of the stream. Put it like there, and then I have this here. Is this working more or less?
Yeah.
All right. So I have.
You're gonna have to start like halfway down your dock, but yeah. For that, yeah, that will.
All good. This is close enough. So S, I'm gonna say, is like title contenders. And then
Okay. I think you only need 4 tiers to be fair.
Yeah, aren't we just doing the power rankings from like 1 to 8?
Whatever. Well, I kind of want to do tier based because it seems
I like this better.
Pretty reasonable. I think there is like definitely some tier gaps in here.
Yeah.
So title contenders in no particular order, I think, is ZFG, Infernal Armory, and Judgment Day.
Yeah.
How do we abbreviate Judgment Day? JD.
Yeah, that works.
I think Judgment Day should be above both.
I think Judgment and then
Much better. Yeah.
I
can see
like,
it, honestly.
I kind of like having S tier be like one team that I think is the best, honestly, because like I think it's weird when like you have 3 teams as your S tier, and like an 8-team group. I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Well, we could do whichever way we want, right?
I think this is fair, but I think order it like JD, ZFG,
You think ZFG before Armory?
It's close. It's really close in my mind.
I have like Armory like 5th or 6th.
So do I.
Just say you
Actually,
hate
I
me.
have
Just say you
I
hate
do
me.
hate you. That's why I had you 7th L5 because I hate you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like last season our team was very clearly first, like just looking at it. But this season it's definitely, obviously we got great players, but it's a little more vague.
I think you have like a few more question marks than last season.
For sure.
I think there's only like
Double.
I think there's only 3 guys that, like I really expect to be top players in your team.
Sylvian said it.
How do you
The
go
thing
ahead?
with your team, Aster, that I think if you have, you know, your Glap, Zooch, J Ricky performing really well, then like y'all are gonna go crazy. But I think the thing that's important to think about in terms of ranking is like, I don't know, like Glop, for example, started the season in DPL 1 and 3. Zooch finished DPL 2 and 5. J Ricky, you know, obviously had a great season. It was, you know, the one time he's been tested. We'll see if he's tested again. In my heart of hearts, I think all these players are going to succeed. But if we're looking at like statistics, like if one of those players doesn't carry their weight, there's so much more pressure on like a Batty or a Jesse or like, you know, like a High Cox or someone like really like get your team from a 4-4 to a 5-3. And I think it's possible, right? But just looking at the pure stats of things where like, you know, I think obviously Zooch had that really great DPL season. But his other seasons haven't been statistically there. And then Glop is usually more like
that was Dougal's fault. You know,
Huh?
always been the captain.
It's Dougal's fault, and it's Dougal's fault.
I'm not the
then,
one
you know,
that I'm not the one that
fine.
clicks Zap Cannon, okay?
True.
I'm not looking
True.
at anything else. Like I because I love a lot of the players you drafted, so I don't want it to sound like I'm saying, oh, they're bad players, because I think they're really good players. But I'm just like looking at the stats and saying like, okay, Glop is not usually a player that goes, you know, 6-1 or 7-0. Like he's usually a player that goes like 4-3 and then like pops off in playoffs or something like that, right? So like hopefully, you know, they have really, really strong seasons. But if I feel like if any of them are lacking, you know, there's so much more pressure on the min bids to like succeed, and you have so many players to test, right? So it's like, who's going to be the min bid that's going to like be the one to pull that
No,
weight?
I completely agree with you. That's why I'm putting us third. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you guys have to trust in your team as well, right? You drafted it for a reason. Obviously, you guys are gonna rank it higher.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be the case for everyone, right?
Then what do you? So that's why I was like, maybe we should just say like, okay, rankings, and like you don't rank your own team.
That's what we did before, but that was when we had
for
like 2
DCL.
people in the call with me, so it's like a lot easier.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess people have left by now, so there's only like 4 besides me. We could do it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. If we're doing
That's
like
okay.
a 1 through 8 thing, we could do that.
Yeah, we can put it in the call chat.
Yeah. But then like, okay, I
Okay,
want to
that's
finish
good.
these like tier lists. Not like
Yeah, then we can do like
So A is like
Nice shirt, Nathan's tier rank in TUL5. I think you'd find it interesting.
if you want, sure. I don't care.
Okay.
So playoff contenders. I think this is where I start to see some of the like Make-A-Wish, maybe AT. But I think it's quite a clear step down from the top 3. Is that just me?
I actually think like the thing with Ancient Tactics is like that makes it so hard to evaluate is those like post min bids things. Like if you're just looking at this team in a vacuum, oh my god, this team's cracked, right? But if you're accounting for I'm wondering how much that changes things in my mind, like that they can only play after week 4, because the first 3 weeks will blow by.
Yeah, it's just 3 weeks. Yeah, most weeks are like this whole team, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
We'll see. Yeah.
So I would put AT 4th, I think.
Yeah, that's where I have them currently.
I think that they're like 4th for sure.
I have them 3rd, but I mean that's close to what you guys have.
Close enough, yeah. And then who else is kind of in this conversation of like top 4 makes playoffs?
I have Maw. Make-A-Wish.
Maw is a crazy way of saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would you
Yeah,
say?
I'm probably there with Wish as well.
Alright.
Yeah, I think
like-
that's probably fair.
It's like close between Maw and DSS for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Surfers could be in there. Because
Yeah.
I think that the old gen
maybe
power is
BSS
pretty
fit.
good. It's just SV has so many games. And if you don't have a strong SV, are you not
Yeah.
just cooked?
Mhm. Yeah, no, for sure.
So would I rate the Subway Surfers over Make-A-Wish? I think those are the two
I
that
have
I'm considering here.
characters at at the bottom. Like I have them as my second lowest team. But
Yeah, I'd put BSS in playoff contenders, and then B, I'd go Make-A-Wish, and then
I think
maybe
I'm
Make-A-Wish on their own.
I'm
Honestly.
probably leaning towards that as well.
This is my top 8. Put it in the call chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. Oh, wait, where is call chat? Do we have one?
Yeah, if you click on the little chat bubble in streaming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
voice
I think
channel.
we're underselling Make-A-Wish. I disconnected, so I can't hear it. But I think
Like I said,
Make-A-Wish
I think
teams-
they can fluctuate between 6 and 5 personally.
I just think, like,
Tacticians is a stronger team.
I think they have a
personally.
lot of bargain players. Like obviously the 2G mishap is what it is, but like, you know, I think Sablo is cheaper than he should be. I think Hunter is cheaper than he should be. I think Who is probably cheaper than he should be.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking about team dynamic and gelling, and I'm like considering a lot of different things, not just like.
Surely that's one of the teams that's gonna be the best team dynamic. I mean, like Nick and J-Script are two like the
Yeah,
most known
that's
players
their
for
strength.
activity. Like if we're
Yeah.
if we're evaluating on that basis, they should be even higher. Like, yeah.
Just say you hate us. I'm trying.
Yeah, dude, you putting a 6 man is crazy.
I think them being at 6 is kind of crazy, to be fair. Like I think they should be higher.
Well, if they're higher, it's over BSS. I'm not putting them over AT at all, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
I think they're more than BSS. BSS is such a question mark. Like those top 4 is so peculiar.
Yeah, no, they're definitely interchangeable. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like
I think I could be
they're so
convinced
close.
Ma at 5th.
Yeah, I
Maybe-
definitely think Maw at best. But it's better than Surfers, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's BSS in B as well, and it's like Ma is at the top of B and BSS is the second in B.
Yeah, I would say Ma and BSS down in B.
'Cause I feel like Tacticians is kind of a weird league of their own because of the min bid thing. It's hard to kind of put them in
Yeah.
the same category.
I see the vision, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this, and
So
then
yeah,
that
B,
leaves...
B would be like on the fence, and then C is like unlikely.
And this leaves Mythical Alliance and Yarn Yoshis as the bottom
Yeah.
two.
MA and Yarn, yeah.
Me personally, I'm gonna put Alliance above, I think, looking at the teams.
Yeah. Same.
Mythical Alliance and then Yarn Yoshis. This is what I think is generally a tier list. Do I agree with this overall? I mean, if I'm doing my own personal rankings, I guess I'll put... Let me just move this up a little bit so we have room on the stream. So this will be me. See Addison, Luke UP, Aster, Dougal. Is there anyone else in the VC that I'm missing? No, that's everyone.
No, I think
right?
that's everybody.
So I think JD at the top is... I can be sold on that. I think we're second. I think ZFG's third, and then the rest I'm gonna do the same order as the list that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Addison, you did not send...
MA, not Ma. You put Ma twice. It
Oh,
autofilled.
it autofilled. Okay, that's annoying.
Ah,
You got a backspace.
Yeah, there we go. Don't worry
You got
about it.
yeah.
So LoQP is Judgment Day, ZFG. Oh my god. Why is it doing this? Make a Wish. Armory. You have Surfers. Mythical Alliance. And then you have Yarn Yoshi. You need to put your own team number 1. Yeah. I guess I should not include mine then, huh?
I didn't include my team.
Yeah, and then Aster. JD, ZFG. Then you put us, but we're skipping that. AT, BSS, Make a Wish. That, and then Dougal has ZFG number 1, JD, AT, Maw, Armory, BSS, YY.
Looks
Addison,
like
did you make
Yarn
one?
Yoshis are favorite.
They're down bad.
I was hoping I could rate everyone at number 1 and not hurt any feelings and let other people
Nope.
do it. But...
Not gonna let you take the easy way out.
Fuck. I'll do ZFG, IA, Tacticians, Make a Wish, Subway
AT,
Surfers.
Maw.
And then I'll be slightly different. I'll do Yarn Yoshis before Mythical Alliance.
All right, so we going crazy with the Yarn Yoshis at 7th. Awesome.
I think it's interesting though because like I don't know, like there's so much budget that I think Mythical Alliance lost. Like obviously JCM Shadow can only play 3 games, right? So that is
You can play
4K
playoffs too, right?
for each game. You can play playoffs, but during regular season, they're playing 4K for each game JCM Shadow plays.
Well,
And I
looking at
think
this team, the talent is gonna make playoffs, right?
That's the thing. And then the other thing too is like I love Trace to death, but Trace at 15.5 is Trace
It's
going to be
steep. Yeah.
that reliable of an SV or a VGC player? Like he is I think he's great. He's one of those really high ceiling players who can beat anyone, but I also know that he's capable of like losing to some randoms. You know what I mean? He's a very sort of high ceiling, low floor type player. And that's a lot to spend 15.5 on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our team is automatically at a disadvantage because we got our 2 captains in call out of 5.
Yeah, we gotta
so...
leave ourselves out at first place. I think it's fair enough.
I think we average out at 4th.
Yeah.
With like AT ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Yeah.
Looks like it.
That's kind of surprising to me. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, well, we know you don't, but
Yeah.
neither do we. But
Yeah.
but Dougal and Low kind of skewed it.
Duke is a big
Like I
hater.
like a lot of your min bids. Like your min bids are so cool. I want Batty. Can I have Batty? Give me Batty.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go for Batty.
All right, trade
Yeah,
me
it's
Lex
just
and
one
I'll
of those
think about it.
things I would have had to go all in on him, and it was just one of those things where I was like, "There's so many other good players in the pool too, and I just don't know what to do." There were a lot of players who went for 3K that like I wish I could have. And I'm very happy with our team, obviously, but there's some players where I was like, "Oh, I'm so excited to team with them as well." Batty was one of them.
We all know you're excited to team with agents.
Yeah.
Favorite.
Again.
I'm gonna play some baseball. It's gonna be great.
Just put Infernal Armory at 1. That's what I'm saying, J-Bear. L5 and Astro are the GOATs, so they should be first. These guys know ball. My chat is so smart.
They're sucking up to you, man. So sad to see.
But guys, we have, 44 concurrent viewers and only 6 likes? Are you kidding me, right, Meow?
Oh, I'm liking the stream. Everybody in the call, let's like the stream as well.
We should all want to be like low QP when we grow up. So, this is the way you can accomplish that goal. Gotta like the stream.
When I grow up, I want to have a concussion.
Okay, we can maybe we can leave that part out, maybe.
I'll give you one.
Whoa.
Second time ever I haven't been in an L5 server for a team tour.
I'm just being threatened. This is great.
Holding my hostage until
who's
Yarn
Jared?
Yoshi's 7th King of 5 says he won't entirely dismiss joining VGC draft. I mean, I did help OG Albino a little bit in the SPL when they did doubles.
Oh shit, Ghost.
So you could say I'm a little bit of a doubles connoisseur. You could say it. Would you be right? Maybe not. a lot of my prep help was, hey, have you considered putting Dragonite next to Qianpao? And he's like, oh. Yeah.
How many Wi-Fi players were drafted this time?
Let's see.
Is it just me, Who, and Jay Ricky? That's tragic.
J Bear,
King
Oh.
L5, one of them.
King L5.
That's true. L5. J Scurf. There were some interesting Wi-Fi signups. I'm interested to see if a lot of them
There were,
get
yeah.
picked in DFL. Yeah.
I know you wanted Vepsis to get picked up. You were talking to me about it.
Yeah.
And we thought about
I
it
know-
towards the end of the draft, but
Yeah, we almost
I mean-
considered it. Yeah.
I know Nathan's gonna captain for DFL, and I was telling him about some of the Wi-Fi players that are kind of good, and he should get them.
There's
So-
one player in the pool named Bruno who has like an insane profile in terms of who he's beat. Like he's beaten Sage in SV, he's beaten Joshua in SV, he's beaten Lucas Numbers in SV.
okay, but has he beat Gypsy King in a mock? This is the true test of skill.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
J Ricky ain't no Wi-Fi warrior? What do you mean? Clyze is the Wi-Fi goat. Didn't sign up. God, Clyze. Yeah. I mean, not really too much else I really wanted to talk about with the DCL. I mean, the drafting has just started, so there's nothing to really look at for that yet. I mean, it's round 1 in the draft. People are just barely picking their Iron Valiants so far. Draft boards. Could look at draft board changes. Have the dock here. As you can see, 1 pick has been made. I guess I can get rid of this now. Boom.
Thank you for having me.
Alright, thanks for joining.
See you.
And then there were 3.
What are we talking about?
So maybe we could go over some of the, like, tiering shifts. Kind of interesting. I mean, just briefly a little bit through the gens. I mean, obviously, in SV, there's now a 20-point tier consisting of Valiant and Terra Torn as the 2
I think
picks.
there's a 20 points on everything now, isn't there?
Not everything. I don't think Oras has one. Yeah, Oras
No.
is still 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wisdom
SV,
got one.
yeah, Meowscarada got more expensive. In DPL 9, ZFG played J Ricky and tiebreaks, they win the season. That's true. My bum-ass co-captain Genius X threw my game. I can't
But you
believe
had
it.
like a grudge match against Zing this season?
No, no, I'm just gonna bring it up over and over again, just because it's fun. Terrapagos was also increased by a point. That's a main thing to look at. This is because like Terrapagos, if you look at the stats, was like the most successful Pokemon, like out of all the tournaments that were relevant.
Yeah.
Like it was the highest win rate, highest presence in upper bracket stuff, all that stuff. What else really adjusted? Palafin kind of swapped spots with Terrapagos down to 17 despite a pretty good win rate in DPL. It's just hard to fit on teams. So this will hopefully open that up to be a little bit more splashable. Ha! Pun intended, because it's a water type. Do you get it? I hope you got the
That
joke.
was
No.
fucking hilarious.
I hope you get
I
it.
thought that was
You'll hit the next one, it's 50-50. Shout out to Zap Cannon. True gambler's fallacy is fake.
Hello,
Hello. Hello, Zooch.
I'm here.
Are we winning?
Yep.
Nice. So, what else really changed in SV? I mean, tons of like small adjustments, right? Petra is a little bit more expensive at 13. Keldeo is up at 13 as well. The Urshifu's now match price exactly. Enam is now 18 instead of 19 with Terra.
I think,
Nothing super impactful.
Zapdos, G, Molt. Moltres went down. Espathra, that's a big one.
Yup.
Shout out to Spothra. Hydrapple up to 16. Goat.
Is there like a somewhere I can see the changes?
Yeah, on
probably-
L5 stream.
I mean, we're just
What?
looking at the drafting doc, right?
Got
You
it.
saying you're not tuned into his stream?
The
What
tier
the H?
changes?
Yeah.
Oh, like the ups and downs.
Like the
No.
vote.
Yeah,
Votes?
yeah.
There's a doc with all the voting on it, but I'm just gonna look at this doc for now.
Okay.
Base Ogerpon as well. This one is now 9 points without Terra, which is pretty cheap. Aloe's up to 10, a 2-point increase. You know what we could do?
Mhm.
There's actually a whole forum post about this. Let me go ahead and
Dude.
find it, because I know there's one that exists. Draft League tiering?
I think Aloe is overrated.
Yeah, here it is.
honestly.
Here it is. Right. With DCL 3 just around the corner. Oh my god, it's here. It's here, guys. It's here. Let me adjust this so it's centered on my stream. Right. Like we said, Valiant Torn. Why did you make my entire DPL team more expensive? Because you're just too good, who? Gotta nerf you somehow. Yeah, 20-point tier.
Yeah.
Meowscarada as well is like pretty elite, but it hasn't had a season in 19 points, so going 20 is a little bit jumping the gun. So it's 19 now. Aloe is up 2 points. Yeah, I've talked about Petrunt, Terrapagos, Keldeo. Rotom's an interesting one because it went from 5 to 6, which I think is still underpriced by like 2 or 3 points, honestly, for what it brings to teams. But it's
Oh
going to
my
be a
God.
long journey for that guy.
3 points is crazy. You think it could be 9 points?
Well, I think it's 6 right now. It could be 7 or 8. That's what I mean.
Oh,
Which
I think 7 max. Rotom.
Nah, he's
Like
so
it's a good spin blocker,
He's
but
so good.
I get it. He can block the elephants, but
Yup.
you know what's coming. Okay, like you can
Yeah.
double out, or you could do something to take advantage.
So
of
you
it.
can
Its
not
stats are
spin?
such shit.
Yeah, you can.
It
Not
doesn't
spin.
matter.
That's
If
the
you're
whole job.
having so much problem of spinning, just run boots. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You basically make that mon useless
Yup.
if you like don't try to spin. It's there to block spin. So therefore,
Just sack all your items because Rotom exists. That's,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great-
Very smart.
great
Very
move.
smart. Yeah.
Guys,
This is why it's so good. This is why it's an 8-point one.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyways, like it's just the most consistent spin blocker ever. Like it low key is a better spin blocker than Petulant, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Like low key though, real ones no.
Or you could just run double knockoff and kill it with Lumberry. Yup.
Literally
Yup.
no, because
Yep.
Culverberry, and then it'll live the next one, and then it'll pin
No,
split
no.
you, and now your Great Tusk is
No.
at
You're
40%.
trolling.
Then you still don't spin because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
revenge killer comes.
You're
Exactly,
trolling.
exactly. This guy knows ball.
Why is this? You guys are
Alright.
trolling me.
And then Mew as well has been raised because, you know, shout out to Mew. It's just too versatile as like a setup threat
Yeah.
with DD. And it gets Poltergeist this gen as well, which is really nice. So it's up to 11 again. Pretty cool.
Very Nem
Drops.
going down is interesting.
Yep. I mean, it's never really had a strong performance as a 19-pointer, and even at 18 points, it's like kind of mid. So, Mogon bringing it down to 18 as well. It had Pult last gen, I thought. It did. Yeah, but I'm just saying it still has it, you know? It's strong in SV. Entry hazard, I mean, you got a few Copium ones down here, but Drill and Hatterene, I think, are going to be pretty impactful on the board.
Mhm.
Base Drill is down to 10 points, same as Donphan, which is like pretty cool because a certain Darkrai, Professor Shuckle, told me that Terra Excadrill is broken. Like when the gen first dropped,
Yeah,
and
we've
so
been
I was
told a
like,
lie.
hey, I'm gonna drop 20 points on that guy. And he's like, that's a steal. Yeah, shout out. He told me to do it. It's his fault. But yeah, now it's down to a much more reasonable 10 points
What's
base.
its Terra price?
12. Or is
Oh,
it
12, okay.
or is it 13?
No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Terra counterpoint dropped from 13 to 12. Yeah. Then base Hatterene dropped 2 points down to 9, which is crazy, I think.
That's a steal, I think. Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Terra Hat went to a 10 points as well. I mean, that's gonna get drafted for sure.
Probably.
Serena, Toescroll, Hitmontop, and Hitmonchan, these are not gonna matter.
What?
Well, Toad Scroll might.
No, I don't think so.
Toad Scroll.
In my chat,
Serena's really good.
If you're down bad for spin.
Serena is not good.
Serena.
Serena is so
Serena's
not
really
good. It's
Strong.
unbelievably ungood.
No. You don't get it.
I clearly don't.
Word. You don't even understand. You don't even.
No, I
get
don't. Please explain.
it. See, when Serena wins games, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Hmm.
They're
Great
really
analysis. Great analysis.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that
Word.
one. Just run offensive axe kick and confuse them. So smart. Rather have Serena or Lycanroc Dusk on your team?
Lycanroc. Come on.
Man,
It's not even a question.
that's like making me
God,
choose
Lycanroc.
between my children. I don't have children. No, I'd rather have Lycanroc Dusk, because that's a good suicide lead. Anyways, shout out to Bramblegast. He's still 5 points. The Urshifu now match the points. Yep. And then a lot of poisons got dropped. Impactful ones, I think Toxapex, Loki, I've seen some pretty important, or not important, but pretty impressive performances from in like the Wi-Fi scene. Alolan Muck is
Dude.
interesting. Amoonguss I think is probably worth the points it's at. Like I'd pick it up if it fits the team.
Yeah, I think Vileplume's not bad.
Yeah, Vileplume's okay.
Monkey Dory is also an interesting one for me,
Yeah,
personally.
I think
That could
Dragalge
be
is
at least
interesting.
some draft.
I don't mind Dragalge at all.
The hell's that last guy?
Alolan Muck.
Alolan Muck.
Oh shit.
And then what's this like? Is this Volcarona or is it Slitherwing?
That's Volk, I think. No?
That's Slither, I think.
Oh, it's Slither. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
Actually, it's hard to tell.
it's really hard actually. Slither. Okay, Slither. And then Entei, Suicune, Rockow. No. But Fake Amoonguss, Goodra, Crawdont, and a lot more. So, like
Mr. Craw.
little no usage equals hey, they drop. Yeah, Slitherwing fans.
Yeah.
I wish Suicune was good.
You want to have
I
a
love that
link to
guy.
the page he's reading? I'll go ahead and drop this in the chat. Bang! You guys can check it out if you want. But yeah, that's pretty much all of it. There's a lot of drops like this. They're not going to list all of them.
Yeah. They only did SV, or did they do the others?
They only did SV, it looks like.
Okay.
So I guess we could look
Did
at the
they
old
really
gens
touch
real
the
quick.
others that much?
I guess what we could do, since it's right
there's some
here.
pretty significant changes in Awesome that I've seen. You'll have to find that on your own.
So, swish tiering. These are some of the drops. Let me make sure it's seeable on my stream. There we go.
I can't see the Mons. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So it's 4 people?
Yeah, shout out to Theo, lazy guy.
Yeah, what the...
Okay, Blaziken drop. Dracovish did not drop.
Wait, where's the before? Oh, it's on the left.
Before, and then
I
it's
see, on the
like
left. Yeah.
after-ish.
A lot of this was based on usage, right?
Yeah,
know
so
it.
a lot of the Swish guys, especially Addison, are very big about usage, which I'm actually not so much interested in usage as highly, like when it comes to like the ORAS board, which I'm a little bit more involved in. But we can go over that in a second. For now, we'll look at this. Like a lot of these guys, I think these are the like low usage guys, right?
Yeah. Well, basically, those guys are guys that weren't drafted in any of the most 3 recent team tours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception, I think, of like Eldegoss and one other.
Earthorn. Hunter.
There's a few weird exceptions, but yeah,
Yeah,
like,
the
there was
rain.
just a lot of mods that like we reevaluated based on usage
Mhm.
as well. That were pretty consensus picks to move down. Some of them were corrections from the past, like Eldegoss, for example, was 3 points, and everyone was picking it up. Then we moved it to 5 because like everyone was picking it up, and then no one picked it up, so then we put it in 4.
Yeah.
Um,
A happy
but
little
then there's other
medium.
weird ones, like there's like the Heliolisk and the Durant and like the Virizion, which is like still no one is touching.
Oh, this is interesting. Snorlax went up to 7 from 6
Yeah,
last
I was just
season.
gonna say that.
Well, that's another example. Like Snorlax, for example, was originally like I think 9 in a lot of like different tier lists,
was,
or
yeah.
10 even in some, and we dropped it all the way to 6, and then it was kind of dropped it a lot in DPL, right? So we're like, all right, well, you know, maybe we'll make it 7 and see
Dude.
if it still gets picked up.
6-point Doug Trio? Man, don't tempt me. I love Doug Trio.
Dude, is Zygarde 10 like shit? Why is it only 3?
It is pretty
So
bad,
this
yeah.
part that you're looking at is us saying, okay, Sword and Shield speed is really hard to come by if you don't get one of the top guys. And there's a ton of really fast guys that still aren't drafted. So Alakazam, Jolteon, Bolton, it's like...
Shout out to Bolton, that's the money guy signature.
Forgot that guy existed.
So we just want to add more speed options, right? Like Inteleon's another one that I think is really cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Shout out to Gastrodon. Such a fall from grace. Remember when this thing was like considered good? Yeah, I remember it like it was 2018.
I think maybe some of the only other things to think about are I think Kartana and Weavile have both sort of proven to be some of the best picks in Swish. So they both moved up as well. Like I think Kartana's moving towards a point where it's indisputably number 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Pick three.
So we look at the final draft board. Look at the top portion of it at least. Like it makes a lot of sense. Like these top 4, definitely top 4.
So this was the other thing that was weird, and why I was so glad we did 20-point tiers, because like basically prior the 18-point tier was this weird mix of like Lando T and Coco, which couldn't move up because they weren't at the same level of Chomp and Torn, but then like Cart and Kyurem and Zera couldn't move down because it would have required just a massive shift to the entire tier list that just wouldn't make sense. So adding this 19-point tier to put Lando and Coco sort of in a league of their own, I think really makes sense given, again, usage rates and draft positions where it's taken at the draft. Like it's pretty much, with the exception of, you know, Zuch's team in DPL last season, like
That was not
like
my decision, by the way. Just
Okay,
saying.
in like 90% of cases, those top 4 Mons are picked in the top 4 slots.
Yep.
So it's nice to have them separate than Kyurem, for example, which sometimes isn't even taken until round 2.
I understand my metal had a bad DPL, but I feel like that guy should be 17 now. That guy's pretty good.
Well, originally it was 15, right? So it's already undergone a price bump, and
What?
you know has still been drafted. You know, in round 2. I think if people start drafting Melmetal like round 1, then it would get bumped up. But I don't think it's on the same level as Celesteela yet, but it can be.
Yeah, it's close, I think. I don't think he's round 1 pick, though. No.
Yeah. Whereas, like, yeah, a lot of the other guys are close to there.
Yeah, the rest of this seems pretty similar to the DPL board. I think we can move on to Sun and Moon.
Yep.
Type no the goat.
Okay. All right. So obviously Zeraora moving to 19, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Mawile down a little bit off of 19 to 18. Makes sense.
Why is Reuniclus the next mon? Why is this ordered this way?
Yo,
Do you think I'd
what is this guy
decrease my
waffling
uses, or-
about?
You don't see Reuniclus second?
Wait, King.
Hey, Kirk's a silly little guy.
I mean, there's notes.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh.
Yeah. Looks like we're unbanning Megalodios in the Usum Cup coming up soon. All right,
yeah.
guys. Zygarde to 18. This has been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Zyg is better than John.
pretty
absolutely.
good. I don't know if Dina had to go down too, but
I
it's
get
fine, I
it.
suppose.
Again, usage based, right? Somebody gets it.
Yeah, all these have no uses.
I'm kind of interested in these notes, to be honest. It's just so interesting. Mega T-Tar, there's just no niche of picking this guy, even over normal T-Tar, because at least you get more sand turns for drill. Nobody tell Blargofarul.
Yeah, nobody likes that extra bulk. Of course not.
Yeah. I hate being faster on my DD Mon.
Yeah.
Mega Vito is kind of cheeks. I get it. Interesting, like Volcarona down to 9. That feels pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
I used
Are
to
you gonna
spam
Z-captain it?
Volk. Yeah, you obviously would. What else here? Oh my god. 5 for Mega Hera? Seems insane at first glance. Yep, it does.
I like my hair across the game, so I don't know.
Is
I don't
anyone
mind that.
actually drafted though? Like that's the question.
If it was 5, I think it would get drafted. Yeah.
I think Dougal will draft it. Because Dougal's been trying to make Mega Hera work for years. Like, years.
Beso.
Breloom? Yeah, okay. Stack Attacka? I know Aster's a fan of the Stack Attacka.
Oh, I love Stack Attack, dude.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that.
So good. What are you talking about?
I know.
There's Earthquake from Zard X.
Oh no,
That's
Dougal
crazy.
has broken up with Mega Hera. This is so sad.
Oh, damn.
Torko's a really bad mon on its own too. Yeah, he's horrible. Anything juicy down here? I don't really care about 4-point Pokemon. Like, no offense. Okay, here
go
it
to
is.
2
Here it
points.
is.
3 to 2. 3 to 2.
3 to 2.
There's a shift from 3 to 2. One of the mons, which is interesting. Just
Let
one.
me see.
It's
Mega Camel.
no.
Shuckle.
It might even be from 4 down to 2. I think it's a double drop.
Yon Mega.
No. It's Ursaring.
Sure.
Where?
Yeah.
Where's Ursaring?
I'll
I don't
believe
see
you.
it.
I'll believe you.
Yeah. Ursaring went down to 2.
4 to 2.
Dude, I can't believe
Yeah, which
Turtonator
definitely
is
makes it
1
viable.
point. Can you believe that?
Dude, the mon that can beat every mon.
That's kind of
Nuts.
messed up.
Yeah.
Ursaring's good, but I don't know. Is it gonna get picked?
For 2 points as a breaker, you know how often Zangoose gets taken, dude?
Zangoose has quick attack though.
Yeah, but Ursaring has quick feet. there's
He's
it's
so
a pretty
fast.
important. It's pretty important.
Nah, it's okay.
Outspeed's 110s. For 2 points, it's a decent breaker.
All right.
Perhaps.
Anything interesting down here?
Mm,
This is interesting,
Let me
right?
see.
Rotom in
I
the
had
SV.
notes.
Rotom in SV, Giga Chad. Rotom in any other gen? This guy's ass.
I know Gator is still 4, even though he did like crazy work for iPro
Oh,
last.
here's Ursaring.
spell.
It's all the way down here.
Ah, there's.
oh,
it's
straight.
10-point Steelix? Ouch.
Yeah, Steelix going up like that is
I get
crazy.
it. I get it, but it hurts.
It's so good
Yeah.
though. Yeah. Jobalion drop. Yeah. Coolfish upgrade. Yeah.
I think Hoopa is another one that dropped. Roserade, Metagross.
Mhm.
There's a few. Mandibuzz is down to 7.
Alright. On the topic of Mega Kangaskhan.
He lost a whole 9. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
It went down 90 points.
So they're allowing it with no seismic toss, obviously.
Yep.
Which is like such an old thing. It's like you have to grandfather it in.
Mm-hmm.
If it were me making the tiers, I probably wouldn't include Mega Kangaskhan, which is what I did in DPL.
Yeah.
And I was unhappy about that, and no one else cared. It is what it is. I just think it's like you can't say that. Remember when people in Swish were doing Kyurem Black with no Dragon Dance as an allowed Pokemon?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't say that's bad and then be like, oh yeah, but I want Mega King.
Yeah, but Kyurem is like really good outside of Dragon Dance. Mega Kang goes from 9 to like 19 with Toss. Like it's
Well, it
that
goes from
significant of a
bannable to
difference.
allowable, right? That's the
Yeah.
distinction. Yeah, I just think it shouldn't be on the lists, just as a policy thing. But I understand it is whatever.
I don't know, as a draft community, we enjoy our complex bands. That's what sets us
Yeah,
apart
it's a little
from,
bit gross.
from Smogon.
It's cool though. What's up, Tidal? How we doing? All right, then
Hey, Tidal,
Oras.
we tried for you, okay?
We did try.
We tried for you.
Oh my god, Yard
won.
is 13. I gotta draft that. Thoughts?
Why did Medicham go down 2 points?
Because it was
Someone drafted
15. It was 15 in DPL with 0 usage, and it hasn't been picked in like 2 years, at least, maybe 3.
Yeah, something about the fighting type Mega's not named Gallade. It's like,
Yeah.
Like, I know it can't do shit to like psychics, but you just need something that kills psychics with it. Like, it's not. I don't think it's that hard.
Oh, you know
but
what
it's
I
not
did
just
for
that.
this?
It's also it's extremely revengeable. It's like it'll get 1 kill, whereas Gallade can like spiral out of control, you know, and it's got the
Mhm.
speed going for it. Like there's a big gap there.
Yeah. A lot of these things are either just matching the DPL price, like Zapdos and Skarm, where they've been, 15 and 17 for several seasons now, and have been performing really well at those price points. Uxie as well, I think, is in that same boat, if I'm not mistaken. And then a lot of this is just general price drops, and low-key, high-key, what I did is I took this column, I went like this, copy, paste, and then I changed a few of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Just at a
yeah,
glance.
That's the right thing to
Yep.
do.
So shout out to Darkrai, he did most of my tiering.
Nice.
Anything interesting here?
Is that Sharpedo at 8 in RS?
Yeah,
it's
Mega
not
Shark.
like picking RS, right? But I think it's still better than 8.
It's missing some tools in Oras.
Yeah, there's no Psychic Fangs, there's no, I think it lost something else for coverage as well, but
No liquidation yet, so it relies on
Yeah.
waterfall, which
Also-
is less damage output.
whereas speed mechanics means you're forced to run Jolly quite a lot more, like you feel that as a difference.
Yeah.
Right, what else here? Volcarona down to 9 is interesting. Are we gonna see it? Who knows? Probably not.
I think
People don't
between
really like
Usum
drafting
and
around
Oras.
4x weeks.
Yeah, but between Usum and Oras, I think we'll see 1.
I hope so. Volcarona is one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
Keldeo up to 17 after some really strong seasons at 16.
Deserved.
Yeah, Zygarde finding a nice home at 9 points. Gallade
Yep.
going up to 17 makes sense. Rotom at 16. This is from DPL. Kind of
Yep.
adapting to that. Anything else?
What the?
Snorlax. Did this change? No, it's still 13. I mean, a lot of just
Why was
usage stuff.
Why was Aggron 4 down to 1
It's a problem.
at the bottom?
He might be ass.
Does anybody draft Aggron ever?
No.
I've drafted it once, but I think it was in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
I think there was one time I drafted a Lairon for 1 point. Was I happy with it? Not really.
Well, now you can get Aggron for 1.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Aeron. Now, Aeron, we can start talking. That's
Yeah,
some cheese
Cybertron Zang, some might say.
Yeah.
Sharpedo is one of the only megas where I'd love an option to draft Mega and Megalith for a few extra points, and that would be a real thing. Yeah. If you like could get the regular form and the mega form, stuff like Garchomp would actually be like kind of insane, right?
Yeah. Garchomp would be crack.
Not really too much else, but like
Yeah.
I guess Slowbro maybe would be interesting for that.
I don't know, man. No press, no teleport.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I
Right.
think that's pretty much it. We've been going for 2
Yeah.
hours now. That's about right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
tired.
a nice length for a stream. I'm gonna dip out. I'm gonna go and eat. So I'll catch you guys later in our team server. But
All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yes, sir.
all right, peace out, boys.
And now we're doing the Preds.
We're doing the Preds.
We're doing the Preds.
How are we doing Preds?
It's a good question. Let's Pred every team's record before even knowing their drafts.
Infernal Armory. 4
can't do that one.
wins, 2 ties, and 1 loss because we got hacked.
All right,
Thoughts?
fine. That's fair. That's a fair one, honestly. Pretty likely. Okay. Check it. Where's the?
Hold on,
Can
I
you
have to
scroll up to
go. I have to go punch someone in the throat real quick.
Okay.
I was just sent
Relatable.
a power rankings with us at 8th, which is so disrespectful. So I have to go
Who?
punch them in the throat.
Who dare?
Slick Panther. Surely it's a bit, right? Surely it's a bit,
I mean, Dougal was also trolling us, no kizzy.
right?
But big troll.
Dude,
I think
he
he's just
said,
mad because I clicked Zip Cannon.
he said he's actually still pissed about it.
We would have made playoffs too. That's so sad.
He
Like,
actually
any of
would have
those,
made
like,
playoffs.
Any of those crazy games
Yeah.
where we just had to win, we just chose not to.
If you
take it.
tricked Josh's Suicune, you would have made playoffs. If you
Yeah.
didn't like mentally explode in several end games.
Click Ice Punch on.
If you clicked T-Bolt on the Okie Dokie.
Yeah, the Thorns one too. Yeah, both.
The Iron Thorns wasn't as
Fuck.
actually egregious. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. You move on.
yeah. Guys,
Anyways.
the stream is almost at 20 likes. Can we get 20 likes
Keep
before
liking,
we
keep
end?
liking.
Please, I'll do anything.
I
Gets
suppose
down
I
on
can
my
like it.
knees.
All right. Let me. Also, these these overall power rankings kind of crazy, but I'll do the records. So.
Okay, sure.
All right, you already did ours, so that's fine. Can you scroll up to the team rosters?
I'll just do
Fair enough.
this.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait, is that missing one?
There.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll start with ZFG since I think that's honestly the best team.
Who's gonna
over
be the
GT.
Who's gonna be the DCL 3 MVP? This is our prediction.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Let's see.
Why is
we
hell
could
on
do-
playing
we could do-
chat? Yeah.
We could do MVP and then we could do like person that pops off that you wouldn't expect, you know?
Sure.
Okay.
Best
okay.
newcomer, most improved. All
Yeah,
that.
yeah. All right, MVP. It's gotta be on like a team that like wins or goes far. I think, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say
Yep. Yurdunk MVP, and then we can all retire. Because like,
Yeah,
there's no point.
crazy. I. I'm gonna say. Okay, this might sound a little crazy because you noise the shit out of me. I'm actually gonna say Undead. I think Undead's gonna be
Undead with K
MVP.
Crick support. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
I think
different.
that's a chance, honestly.
hmm I see the
I don't know where he's
vision.
playing though. I don't know if he's playing SV or what the hell he's doing, but
Yo,
I think he actually
imagine,
has a. What?
imagine Agent Flame just comes out with another undefeated season back to
Oh my
back.
god.
That would be generational, no?
Yeah, especially on the team that people think is the worst team.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Now you gotta go undefeated into miss playoffs. The
Oh my
Addison
God, that would be
combo.
yeah, that's so shitty, dude.
No.
But at least your stocks will go up. No, so I think if Undead plays SV, I don't know if he's the Gen 7 for that team, but if he plays SV, I think he's got a better chance to be MVP than if he plays Gen 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the general player pool is a little bit too strong, I think, in Sun and Moon to get like that
Yeah.
undefeated season.
Agree. Okay,
I could
what
see
about you?
maybe. Ooh. I'm not gonna say my own team because I'm biased.
I avoided that. Yeah.
I think you could honestly be looking at a Lax MVP kind of run.
Yeah. I was thinking of him.
I think he's really fantastic, and like he's on what I think is probably the best team on paper. So if there's any season for him to like really pop off, it's probably this one, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think he like, so he was on my team last season. He like wanted specific mons for his draft. So I mean, there's 5 drafts now, so there's an even better chance he should be able to get something like that. But I feel like if he doesn't get exact Pokemon that he wants, then he might struggle. Not struggle, but like not go 7-0 or whatever. So I think he's depends on his draft.
Yeah. Or maybe who finally learns how to use an offensive draft? No, I'm just kidding. He's drafting stall.
Yeah, I mean we nerfed his nerfed his Pokemon.
Yes, Jay Ricky, get out of your system. I get it.
Who?
Who?
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. It's just again the team. I don't know if they're gonna be like top contenders on that. So I don't know if he would win MVP anyway. Do they even do awards for Smogon Tours?
No,
DCL?
they don't.
No. Okay.
But it's like unofficial, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about like unexpected pop-offs here?
Unexpected pop-offs. All of
This
my
could
3Ks.
be on a bad team.
All of my 3Ks. They're all so good. A lot of owls in this chat. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but the problem with saying all of your 3Ks is because we have so many damn players, none of them are going to be able to play like every week.
I know.
So, you know.
That's the tough part. Who else though? Yeah,
I don't know if this is like.
I
Yeah,
hope
go.
Fagos does well, because he's a funny guy and he's like undefeated in game 8s. So.
Oh, he's on ET. Yeah, that's a good shout for sure. I think one
That'd
of
be
the.
fun.
I don't know if this would be like a low person pop up because he's still 8K, but like Mascow, I think he's really good. He's on the Yoshis, but I think him and Galbel, they're friends, so I think they can honestly pop off them two together. Honestly, I could see that.
Shout out to Keegan. Lucky you have a free bench every week with Jbear. Someone's a little bit salty they didn't win BBL, huh? Or BBR. That's the one that he won. Predictions for DCL winner. Do you think Make-A-Wish do the Triple Crown? No. I think the title contenders are pretty clearly Armory, Judgment Day, and ZFG. I'd be really surprised if anyone besides those 3 won the season.
Yeah, I mean, I know like DPL, like the 1 seed never wins, but it's usually teams that people rank. Would people have DOI in playoffs before the draft?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I did? Okay. So, yeah, usually it's a team that you can at least predict.
I think
they go
DUI was like
playoffs.
pretty universally 3rd to 4th in the power rankings. Some people had him higher, some people had him a little lower, but I think averaged out at about 3. With
3, yeah.
Who was like the top 2? It was like ZFG and Scalpers, I think.
Scalpers, yeah.
But Scalpers obviously imploded, and then PTE was a lot better than expected. But still,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that the 4th team for this is definitely up in the air. I think Alliance has a good chance, honestly. I don't know. Everyone thinks they're like bottom 2. I think all of their starters are good. Like, I know Shadow only gets to play 3 games or whatever, but if you look at their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like top 8 players, even like the whole team besides like the last guy I don't really know, like you can easily say they'll go positive.
Yeah.
Like they're all good players. I don't know. And they're all of them are friends too, so they'll work together. So
yeah, maybe I was too harsh, but also F it, we ball.
Yeah, we ball.
I think AT could win. They could punch up.
I think it's definitely big on Helm, whatever, how good they are.
Yeah, Helm and Mata are like Smogon players, so if one of them pops off, that'll be a really big deal for them.
Yeah. Is Fortune Sun like VGC? What is that?
That's Max. He's Sun and Moon.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. I didn't know that was his name.
Yeah.
So who's their VGC? Oh, Hopeless.
Yeah, Hopeless and Impulse, I think.
Oh, Impulse plays VGC?
I think that's what they were saying. I don't know. I just work here.
Yeah, I think they would be my 14. They're good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, what else do we really want to do? Because we're at 19 likes. Can we get 20? The big 2-0?
Keep streaming till you get
Please,
20.
it'll be good for the algorithm, and then I'll get lots of money and ads. Not really true. I'll get like a few dollars. There we go. 20 likes. Now I'm going to be rich. Let's go. Who do you think is the weakest team? A Yarn Yoshis for sure.
Yoshi.
Unfortunately, someone has to be the worst.
Listen, they could prove us wrong, right? They
Oh
got
my
nothing to
God.
lose if they're the worst.
PZZ, my goat.
They're gonna come out swinging.
Yeah.
Nice username. Pikachu Zappy Zap. PZZ. Okay.
Alright. Well, thanks for joining me.
We'll be playing Overwatch.
Yeah, probably at some point today. I could stream Overwatch on Twitch. I've been doing that from time to time.
Oh wait, what's the over under on Mayo? What the fuck is
Mayo?
Mayo.
That's crazy. You're so young, you don't even know how to say his name.
I know who he is. Mayoran1 or whatever that is.
Yeah, mayonnaise.
Where is he? I don't even see him.
ZFG.
Oh, okay. Do you think he plays every week? Or no?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna say he's gonna go. Let's take 3-2. I think he's got good support. His friends. I think he'll be solid. 3-2.
I think sub 500.
Damn.
I'm saying it. I'll be the hater. You be the fan. Good cop, bad cop type vibes.
Yep. Always the villain, L5.
Yep.
Just the SCO villain.
Yeah, we go villains.
So I think there's got to be like some Sun teams drafted, right? With 5 drafts too.
Sun teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Panda has wanted a Sun team like every tour he runs. So maybe he'll finally get it.
It's not terrible. Like it definitely has good matchups, but I think there's just some other, some matchups where it's just really bad. I don't know. I think Sun is like the only like viable weather. I think rain is ass.
Sure.
So, in Gen 9 at least.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I mean, Sun does get Scovillin on there, so
yeah,
might be the goat.
What switches in?
Heatran.
Has ancient power,
kind
so you
of.
can't say AV. Nothing. No AV torn. Nope. Doesn't count.
AV Torn hella dies to just overheat, right?
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Like Spadef AV, that's taken like 80%. Let's be real.
True.
Drafting Yard inspired by Greg? Not if we draft it first. We're getting Yard in like 7 drafts, I think. Thoughts? I don't think that's even legal. It's like 6 max, right?
What do do you mean? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, either way, better pick it up round 1 or we're getting it. Alright.
Alright.
That's gonna be it for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Probably more streams on like Tuesdays and stuff. I'll always do like Tuesday streams for like the watch throughs of all the games. We'll do some analysis, have a good time, all that. Preds.
On Friday.
Yeah, nobody cares about Preds, let's be real. But we'll probably still do them.
Come on.
We'll actually keep track about that.
Yeah.
And then we could have
we
like
can't pred our
actual
own games.
leaderboards. Yes, we can.
We're just gonna Predato or what?
Yep.
Okay.
If my team loses, they're costing me Preds, and I hate them.
Fair enough.
No, it's probably
Okay.
better to not include our games, but whatever.
No, we have to. We can't just leave out one series. There's only 4.
Yeah. Plenty of more DCL content coming. If you're interested at all, hit the subscribe button. Oh my god, I'm doing the YouTuber plug thing. Yeah, because we're going to have lots of streams about DCL over the coming months, and it's going to be epic. Right. And that's it.
Adios.
See you in the next